Welcome to the Gangcast, aka the Games and Not Games podcast. I'm Janet Garcia, and joining me, as always, is Isaiah Smith.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 21.
We can drink.
I know.
The show can drink. It
have
is
never
a legal adult.
Wanted to not drink more than today, I think. I just have a bunch of other stuff to do.
No, facts. I don't even know if I can drink. Probably not. I imagine.
No, you can't.
Even if I wanted to, yeah.
You got your wisdom teeth out. Spoilers for Not Games. But yeah, we'll be not talking about that extensively, but you seem like you're in pretty good spirits, though. I think it wasn't too bad.
No, it was not as bad. I mean, like you said, we'll get into it. It wasn't as bad as I feared it would be, but it wasn't as good as I hoped it would. It was kind of like, that middle of the road, which you realistically might get. So I'll take it.
No holiday mug from you with the coffee. You got the wolves inside me mug.
I was feeling a little. I had the wolves inside me today. 2 dogs are fighting inside me.
We have this Tim Hortons mug. It's just a cream colored mug with like trees and some wolves.
Which it is seasonal. Like this.
Yeah, it's cute. I like that mug. We got it when we were in Buffalo, which is basically Canada.
Basically, yeah. It's the Canada and the South somehow mashed together.
Yeah, and I got my Buc-ee's Christmas mug. We love Buc-ee's, the chain, I guess gas station, right? Is what it would be.
I think it is, yeah.
They have really good food and a lot of crap inside of it that you could buy. Like, it's kind of like it's like without I guess I do have clothes, though. It's kind of like it's like part Target, part almost like a merch store. Because they have like a lot of Buc-ee's merch. Like, this, we got this Buc-ee's mug. We got a plush Buc-ee. They had Buc-ee pants.
Yeah.
I think Buc-ee coolers.
Had, like, inflatable Buc-ee beaver.
Whoever designed Buc-ee snapped that day, though. It's like Buc-ee looks great. He's thriving in this year and future years. Yeah, it's fun stuff. It's from when we went to Texas.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get into games.
Let's talk games.
The Game Awards happened at the time of us recording 2 days ago?
Something like that, a couple days ago, yeah.
Yeah, it's something like that. All the days
kind of a blur.
The days are kind of blending together a bit. 2 days ago, yeah, because yesterday I just had regular work. Yeah, how was it? You watched it at home. I went to the live show and watched it in the theater. Your texts were very funny. What did you think of the show?
As much crap as I'm constantly giving the Game Awards every year, this year was
especially without your
solid.
teeth. Like, I feel like, again, we have this theory that you've gotten a little meaner now that you don't have your teeth anymore.
Yeah, that's where all my niceties were.
Yeah.
It was just like in my wisdom teeth. It was actually a pretty solid show. It didn't feel as commercially, even though I'm sure if you like ran the numbers, it probably wasn't like significantly off from previous years as far as like the amount of like award speech to trailer ratio. I'm sure that was probably still the same, but it didn't feel as like, and now thanks to our partners over at Quiznos, who's bringing you this world premiere. Like, I don't know, so I appreciate that Jeff apparently took some criticism to heart and made some improvements. And overall, the show was solid. There were a lot of funny moments. I think the Snoop Dogg school assembly rap will forever go down in my head as like, what is going on?
I'm not adding that album to my Apple Music anytime soon.
No. And then the Harrison Ford coming out was actually pretty cool. There were a lot of cool moments. So I don't know, what was it like for you being there though? I can see it on the TV.
It was cool. I do think the show was better than last year, which granted last year was really, really rough. Like just because all the speeches got basically cut short and it just felt very like negative. Like the vibe was like negative. This vibe was pretty good. It was the 10th anniversary too, which they didn't lean into as heavily as I thought they might, but I think it was like a nice amount of acknowledgement, and it kind of did make it feel a little bit like different. I can't remember how frequent it is for previous winners to be involved in the like following show, but I definitely think that's a good thing to lean on. I enjoyed that aspect of the show.
I vaguely remember that. Like,
I'm sure he's done it before.
Christopher Judge came out and gave an award.
Yeah, for the voice actor thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's like fairly common, but it felt more present this year. I don't know if it actually was more present. But yeah, that was cool, and it was nice to like. I appreciated the integration of, oh, this is someone who won like Game of the Year from this year and this other stuff, kind of feeling like there's, a real history to the Game Awards. I thought that part was cool. Yeah, but I'm not, I just like I don't know, pop too heavy for too much stuff. Like
Sure.
I know a lot of my, I forgot if it was like the Min-Max audience or just like Ben yesterday had asked like, what was it like being in the room with Harrison Ford? I'm like, it was
fine.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I don't think there's really like any I don't think I have like that for celebrities that much. Yeah, I think like it would come and go pretty quick. I'm trying to think if there's anyone that would pop for. Like if Kendrick was there, that'd be pretty cool. But I think even that would only feel cool for like a few seconds, Sure. It'd be like, oh yeah, like, we have obviously the athletes we're fans of, like Ricky's there. It's like, oh, that'd be lit for a second. But I'm not gonna like, I don't know, my face does not melt off for celebrity sightings, especially when it's like
Ted Mosby came out and gave an award instead of Aaron Paul. If he came out and did something, that would be cool.
I liked Aaron Paul, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Aaron Paul. Like I remember liking Breaking Bad, and that was a lot of fun. He's done other stuff besides Breaking Bad, but I think it's just that like it's not like I'm near them or like gotta pick, like, and even that, I think I'm just not too much of like a not too rah for that kind of stuff.
Sure,
but it's cool.
sure.
I'm like, yeah, he was there. I'm like, look, there's 2 Indiana Joneses on stage. That's kind of nice,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, like that stuff is, I'm trying to think of stuff I have popped for. It's not like, this sounds like really dumb, but I think like mentally it was more interesting to see like the, that one Spider-Man movie that had the Spider-Man in it. It's like that was about the same amount of pop that I have for like people in real life. Yeah.
See, that was awesome.
Well, that's more exciting to me, I think, is the thing. But it's not like, I don't know. Like, I just like, you're there and it's like, it's cool. It's like, I don't know. It's fine. I'm also just not like an Indiana Jones stan, but I don't think there's anything that I would go like crazy for. I'd just be like, fair. Like, that's cool. Like,
that's fair.
I like a thing that you're in maybe. But I don't know. I have like a weird vibe all around for that. Were there any announcements that you were into? This is another thing that I'm kind of like not as into.
Yeah,
like,
no,
like,
I mean,
what was your favorite thing from the show? And I'm like, it also kind of blurs together, I think, when you're watching it to what the trailers are.
I mean, I think the easy pick is the Intergalactic announcement that like, oh yeah, Naughty Dog's, they're working on something.
But do you remember the full name of the game?
It's like Prophet of something or something of Prophet or
the Heretic Prophet.
The Heretic Prophet. Yeah, it's fucking terrible. But hey, Naughty Dog, they're working on something that's not The Last of Us and not Uncharted. Cool, I'm there for it. The trailer did not sell me though. I don't know how you feel. I don't know what the vibe was in there. I know some people. The timeline was like, oh my god, it's Naughty Dog is taking inspiration from Akira, and it's this like 80s sci-fi Guardians of the Galaxy themed kind of like whoa. And to me, I'm like, you just named literally at least 2 other properties that did this already. I'm not popping for this. Like, it's been that aesthetic has been done. It looks like a Ubisoft Star Wars game. Like, that's what I thought this was gonna be, to be honest. And so like from the initial looks of it, not sold. Not like against it, but I'm not like whoa woo woo wah rah. It's like, oh, okay, like I want to see some more. I want to see what the actual like gameplay is. Like, what's the concepts going on? What's the story going on? Like, what's being told to me? Blah blah blah. I'm sure it's Naughty Dog. I'm sure they'll have their big, huge production set pieces and things like that will ultimately bring me in. But from this trailer, I just got Outlaws esque Star Wars adventure, and it's like, all right, well, I mean, if I wanted that, I could have that. I don't want that.
Yeah, I was. I feel like it's hard to get a read on the audience. I think everyone was just, watching it, and it took a long time for it to be clear what we were looking at. I was actually like kind of surprised. And looking back, the trailer is like 4.5 minutes long, which is like quite long. A lot of time, but not a lot of, I feel like big takeaways besides maybe like the anime inspiration of things. But yeah, I was surprised with how long it took to show that it was a Naughty Dog game, because when like Jeff announced it and was like, this is going to be a new game from like a really acclaimed studio or something like that, like a long acclaimed studio. So it's like, okay, clearly this is going to be a big name, a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept waiting to know what it was. And it took a really long time. And I think that also kind of was a point against it, where it was hard to, if the main thing carrying this is like the Naughty Dog name, the fact that I found out that it was Naughty Dog at like the last half minute of a 4.5 minute trailer, it's like, well, now I can't really superimpose that onto, what I saw before. But yeah, I also thought it was a lot of just looking at the environment within this ship, but not really many takeaways for, with like the gameplay or what to expect from like the narrative. There's like a little bit of a snippet of some gameplay, and it looked fine. There's combat. Yeah. And the combat looked like it could be good, but like, I don't know.
The sword was cool. Like, it looks almost like a audio wavelength.
You know what it kind of looks like to me, and now that I'm looking back at it, almost, which I think this is like on a positive end because I generally like the games okay, but sort of Jedi Fallen Order vibes.
Yeah. Again, it's Star Wars. It screamed Star Wars meets Guardians to me, and it's like, well, I mean, I like both of those properties fine enough, so I'm sure I'm not put off by this. But I don't know.
I think same. I'm not gonna, throw it back just because it's Naughty Dog. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a Naughty Dog stan, but I feel like, I don't know, it's interesting. I feel like people want to have it both ways. Like,
hey man,
this is an industry that's super critical of Naughty Dog, which is fine. But then the second a Naughty Dog trailer drops, it's like, oh well, we know it's gonna be good because it's Naughty Dog. We do not know that.
The last 2 years have shown that
we do not know that
the greats can fall, and when they do, they fall hard. So
but I'm interested in, it's nice to finally know what they're working on. This was long been rumored that their next game was going to be sci-fi, and one thing that has me optimistic about it is when, and this is not me saying that it's going to be this good of a game, but when Nintendo did Breath of the Wild, I was like, look, there's been a cajillion open world games. What do you have to say that's different than what has already been said? And they really had an answer for that, and I'm hopeful. That's what I kind of want to see out of this. I want to have this be like, you thought that this was something you're sick of. Actually, this is a really great game, and it didn't matter that it was a sci-fi 80s, been there, done that kind of setup, because we did a really good job with it. Similarly to, I was not, I was definitely one of the people that felt Last of Us didn't necessarily need a sequel, but the sequel I thought was really good, and when I got it, I did feel like it completed the story in a way that I didn't think it needed to be completed.
Sure.
So, so it's like, okay, I'm just going to stand back, let him cook, but I'm not going to pretend like, oh man, wow, standing, clapping, crying, throwing up, just because, it just didn't really excite me too much. I think my most exciting thing looking back on it was the people that made Sifu are making some soccer game. I think that's going to be lit.
I must have missed that one. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it was in the pre-show. If you missed the pre-show, I do believe it's going to be like an online multiplayer kind of game. I'm trying to see what the name of it is. I don't know if they I feel like they had to have done the name of it, but it's like Rematch or something. Rematch. It's the people who made Sifu and Absolver, so that studio.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah.
And on its face, it kind of looked like Rocket League.
Oh, but yes. Okay, I do remember this.
Yeah, it's kind of got like a casual vibe to it. Yeah,
that's
they
cool.
Said from the studio behind Sifu, and then there was like that was the first thing they showed, and I was like, okay, the Sifu. I'm like Sifu soccer.
I think it was like 3v3 or something like that. Or it was like hell yeah. No, I remember that. I'm surprised you didn't say the your Overcooked boys are coming back with a new spooky, spooky
stage
adjacent.
That I'm also looking forward to. I hope you're ready, Isaiah, because you got to play that game with me.
Hopefully they fix the whole you both get the platinum if you play it.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not. We're just gonna have to play it twice. That's fine. Two times the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there were other cool things, but I'm also just I kind of just go in and I watch the show, and I'm not. I get that it is a big place for reveals, but I've never been as into like the predictions for the reveals. Like, I kind of just want to see like what the awards are, and I get that like it is more downplayed of an award show. Like it still has the thing where they cram like 3 categories into like 30 seconds.
Dude, yeah.
But that's what I want to see. And I thought the melody, not melody, medley they do at the end with like all the Game Award, Game of the Year recipients or nominees, and they blend all together. And there's that flute guy who's really great.
When that started, I was like, oh, there's no. It started with Metaphor. I was like, ain't no way Metaphor not winning. You hear this? This song alone fucking bangs. We'll get to that.
But yeah, I'm trying to find the name. Someone told me the name of the flute guy. He's not on Blue Sky, but I'm gonna hunt him down. He's really good. He's like there every year, and he like tours with Hans Zimmer's stuff. But anyway, let's get into what we are into in terms of predicting things, which is what the winners are going to be. So I believe it was maybe 2 episodes ago that we did our Game Award predictions and picks. So, let's just go down in order. Unless you want to save Game of the Year for the end. I mean, people know listening.
Just jump in.
Okay.
Top down.
So for Game of the Year, you predicted Astrobot, but you picked Metaphor Fantagio. And then my pick was Astrobot, but I predicted Balatro. I guess I'll focus on the predictions for the sake of this episode.
I see you have a count here. Is it is the count the predictions right or the picks right?
It's the predictions right.
Okay.
Because the pick is just a personal thing. Yeah, I think I'll lean in on predictions for this. So you got this.
Yeah.
You predicted Astrobot.
I figured
and
it would.
the baby won.
Yeah. It's a fantastic game. I made the joke on Blue Sky. It's like, well, if anyone's gonna beat Metaphor, at least it was the bot. And it's like, yeah, okay, I can take that L for sure. It's like the year before. I don't think it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago. Where it's like Ragnarok didn't win, Elden Ring did, and it's like, you know what? If anything's gonna beat Ragnarok, I guess at least it's Elden Ring.
Yeah,
okay,
and that'll be true for the next 32 years because we're making another Elden Ring game, which is co-op. So, if you want to hang out with me and see, everyone says, oh, like, you know what? I should make all these people who have said that I can play Elden Ring, make them play this Elden Ring game with me. And I'm like, you tell me how good I am, bitch. Because
the thing is,
I can't play this game.
I didn't verify it, but I saw Rebecca Valentine talk about how it's mandatory 3-player co-op. Like you can't do it just 2.
Oh.
It's like you need a third person. And so like that could be a little you have to finagle 2 other people if you want to play co-op. That sounds a little rough, but
have
we'll see.
Bruce pick up her 6.
Yeah, we'll have.
We'll do 2-player, and then when someone has a chance, they pick up the third controller, and then I'm sure the Soul Sickos are already like, can you do the 3-player with one person? And they can. They'll put like the one player's the foot, and then one player's their eyeball, and
someone's
whatever.
playing with a Guitar Hero guitar.
Exactly.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah, so congratulations on your prediction. I had predicted Balatro, and I was wrong. And I knew once the awards started rolling out and Astrobot started winning other categories, I was like, it's over. Like, Astrobot's definitely going to win. Which brings us to our next one, Best Game Direction. We both predicted Balatro, but Astrobot won.
Yeah, that was a little surprising to me. I didn't think the formula for Astrobot was that different that it would win. I thought something that did something a little bit more new this year was going to be the winner. But I guess execution still outweighs it. And yeah, the game's direction it's tight. You know what I mean? It's good. It's great. They came out with the win. Yeah. Wait, but you don't get a point for this, right?
Yeah, I didn't say I did. Like,
all right. No, it was just highlighted. So I was like, oh, okay.
Cool. No, yeah, I highlighted the people that won in the categories, and then the details are just like listed. Yeah, so once they won this, I'm like, they're gonna win Game of the Year. I have to double check previous years, but I don't think there's been a year where someone wins Game Direction and doesn't win Game of the Year. And I definitely felt like I'm hoping I'm gonna take these memories into next year's predictions because it really is just like what people think the best game is for some of these categories, which we'll, get into a little bit more later. But we got Best Narrative. Isaiah, you predicted that your favorite game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, would be winning.
Man, I couldn't be more happy to lose that prediction.
But actually, what was it?
It was Metaphor Fantagio.
Metaphor Fantagio, which was my prediction. I felt like society would finally not let me down, and I was correct.
Yeah, crazy.
The people came together, and I think it's funny because right before the show, a friend of ours, Cam, I was talking to him, and he had mentioned that like he has some criticisms of Rebirth as well, and maybe not as like harshly as we do, but he had like mentioned, he's like, oh, I was talking to like Blessing about like my critiques of the game and like the story, and Blessing's like, I don't care about the story, I just had a good time playing the game. His words of blessings not, not confirmed or whatever, right? And I wonder if a lot of people in the industry maybe have that feeling. Like, I felt like when I would talk to people about Rebirth, they often pointed towards like elements of story, but maybe the truth is it's not as much of what's carrying the game for those people. So maybe that's part of why that metaphor was able to win narrative. Because I wasn't like super surprised, but I definitely think with your prediction, I'm like, it's not impossible. It got nominated. So I'm like, someone out there is like, when I think story, I think Rebirth.
I think Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yeah.
We got best art direction. We both lost this one. The answer was Metaphor for Fantagio. You had predicted Astrobot and I had predicted Neva.
Yeah. I mean, the art in Metaphor is good. Like, the character designs, the
UI.
The UI is fantastic. The enemy designs, the whole thing is like visually very good.
Well, just don't look down. The dirt looks like it's from the PS2 era.
So the environments are a little, cool,
but it's like art direction, not like graphical fidelity.
Yes, exactly.
But even so, I'm like, okay, you know what? I like the game.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think Metaphor can win any and every award.
I will say too, one way to conceptualize this, even though there's no right or wrong answers, it's just like what people vote for. But if you had an art book of Metaphor with Fantagio, I think that book would eat.
Hit.
Now, when you see it in action, maybe like squint a little bit, and you can kind of. We got best score in music. I got this one. I predicted the winner, which was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And you did too. So we both got these. Even though we both picked Metaphor for Fantagio. But yeah, Rebirth, I think it has a great soundtrack. I'm not mad at that at all.
I'm a little mad.
I love Rebirth soundtrack. I guess like you take issue with the fact that you feel like it's the same.
Yeah, I feel like it's so samey to remake that it's
haters would say Astrobot's gameplay is the same.
Yeah.
It's not newest score.
That's fair.
It's best score. And I do think there are some deviations. It's not like they just took the music file and then just stuffed it in there. But I get what you mean by like, been there, heard that. But like, if you have a franchise, you're going to have the same score for the most part. Like there's some exceptions or like deviations and stuff, but like a lot of what the score is still the score. So that's kind of always true. We got best audio design. The winner was Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which I predicted. Which I gotta be honest, looking back at this doc, I don't even remember predicting that.
I think we were both on the same wavelength here, where you predicted Senua's Saga, I predicted Silent Hill. I feel like it had to have been a horror game to win it. You know what I mean? Or like something in that like horror, dark, thematic kind of thing. Just because audio is such a core element of those kind of games.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally happy Hellblade 2 won it. That's fine. I got no gripes with that. I haven't played it, but I imagine it's good.
I've heard different things about it. I heard it looks really visually stunning. I heard that like it's like the most like next gen looking game that exists.
All right. Well, maybe we'll fire up the Series X
but everything else is like
we'll take some screenshots.
I was not told to run, don't walk to Senua's Saga. Okay. I was told like, you know what, if you don't get here,
stroll. If you pass it,
don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay, like say less. I have a lot of games I have to play. Games for Impact. I was the only one that did a pick for this one. I predicted Indica and I was incorrect. It was Neva. Which looking back, I should have picked a more mainstream. Like Indica is not mainstream enough for me to pick that. I actually don't know why I picked that. That was a dumb prediction. A fine pick, but a dumb prediction. Yeah, never got that. We got best independent game, which went to Balatro. You had
still crazy
picked and predicted Animal Well.
Yeah,
and were incorrect. Were you surprised that Animal Well?
I'm surprised that Animal Well got nothing. I don't think they got anything at the awards, which is insane to me. But hats off to Local Dunk. I mean, the game was great. Balatro, it's won a couple different things, and it was up for Game of the Year, right? So, hey, it's doing something well.
And that's the thing, too. Like, it's the only indie up for Game of the Year. I forget if Black Myth Wukong is owned by somebody. Maybe,
like one of those
so, apologies if they are owned by somebody I don't know or not owned by someone, rather. But, like, that's kind of the flag of, okay, it's going to win the category because it's you know what I mean? Like, it was in that sense the best indie according to the jury. And and nominees and stuff. So yeah, that took best independent game.
I will say, shout out to Arco. They got that local thunk.
Yeah,
made sure that Arco got its little shout out.
I started Arco,
acceptance.
And it's cool. I'm liking it. I'm not.
Not enough people played it, else it would have been on a contender.
Yeah,
for sure.
I know. Like I do feel regret for the things that I played after I submitted my nominee ballot for the Game Awards, but I'll do better next year, maybe. We'll see. I'm going to try. So best independent game went to Balatro. Best debut game went to Balatro, which I also predicted. And best mobile game also went to Balatro, which looking back, I'm like, I should have picked Balatro. That's so obvious. I don't know why I thought the Pokemon TCG card
mobile,
game would
like,
win.
It's not a good experience on mobile, I feel like. The
Some
screen
people
is
don't
so
mind
small.
I am the only person I've seen complain about that.
That's crazy.
Now, maybe I'm the only one that can't see. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I'm rocking the biggest iPhone they got, and it's.
I just don't like playing mobile games sideways on my phone.
Oh really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, like because that's the problem. That's my beef with Balatro. Like it's like I feel like it's all wide. Like why are we wide? Like I want to have.
You want to feel like you're texting your game.
Yeah, like I want it to be vertical. Like I'll deal with wide. That's why for a while I forgot where it is. Maybe Edwin borrowed it or something. The backbone that I had, the little controller thing, like that is fine because it's like okay, now we just made like a baby console.
Sure.
But otherwise, I don't like holding. I loathe holding the phone like that for a mobile game personally, and that's why I didn't really like Balatro on mobile. But it is like I think I can get why this got picked because it is the best game on this list. I think to a lot of people, even though for me it's not the best mobile experience.
Yes.
Like I don't enjoy playing this game on mobile. But also, like, mobile is a pretty big blind spot for a lot of critics, myself included. So, but even so, I thought the Pokemon TCG would run away with it because I've been seeing that all over my timeline. I feel like people are loving it.
I ain't never seen a mobile Balatro screenshot. I've seen plenty of TCG screenshots.
Yeah, I just thought, I thought it'd be Pokemon. But looking back, I'm like, I should have just picked Balatro because it's like Balatro's winning everything.
Yeah.
For best action game, the winner was Black Myth Wukong, which neither of us predicted. We both predicted Helldivers 2. I was surprised by that. I feel like y'all not posting about Black Myth Wukong because I don't know. I have not heard a lot from that game on a critic peer perspective. Obviously, the game got coverage. The game got good reviews. The game got nominated for several categories, but I was a little bit surprised by that. Warhammer's like I've seen more buzz, and maybe that's just like the people that I follow. Like maybe they're playing Black Myth Wukong, but they're not posting about it because the developers had that huge scandal of like hating women and saying like the feminist. I don't know. Maybe they're just like they don't want the smoke, but like they're playing Black Myth Wukong on their burner account and loving it. I don't know what's going on. But that was best action game.
Offline and putting hours into Black Myth.
Yeah, like I don't know what's going on, but I'm like I feel like the streets. I didn't hear, maybe it's just my streets.
No, I didn't hear anything. I'm, on different platforms and stuff, and I heard literally next to nothing about Black Myth since it came out, outside of like the controversy stuff. You know? So comment below if are you playing it on your burner? What's going on over there? What's happening? We got best action adventure game. Both of us got this right. It was Astrobot. Yeah.
A tip of the hat to Prince of Persia: Lost Crown, which did not win.
At least they were nominated. Great game.
Yeah, it's an honor just to be nominated. Best RPG, we both got this right. It was Metaphor Fantagio. Yay! And then, of course, most anticipated game is GTA 6. Well, how do you feel about most anticipated game? I feel like this is a weird, like this category. Does it feel weird to win this category? Like, I have a game award, but it's for people that like looking forward to my game.
I'm gonna say. I mean,
this trophy should go to the PR team of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah. The thing is, it's so weird because it's like, if you had told me that this was just a paid award, like a sponsored award, I would believe that. Because it's like, you haven't done anything yet. Like, the game's not out. There's nothing to award. It's just, what franchise are people most in love with? Yeah,
it is a little bit of a funky wonky one.
Yeah. And with GTA in there, of course it's gonna be that. Like, the only fan base more savaged than the Elden Ring From Software fan base is the GTA fan base.
Yeah, I think GTA probably has I think if you put Elden Ring, like a FromSoft game in here. I think GTA is going to beat everything.
GTA
I think
beat
GTA
anything.
is just like a god.
Literally anything. You could put, I don't know, fucking a new Mario on there.
The second coming of Jesus Christ could be on here, and people would be like, I don't know, that GTA 6 though.
GTA 6 trailer though.
That GTA 6, like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally nothing you could put that I think would topple
No,
GTA 6 in this category. So,
but yeah, a lot of big fandoms here, you know, Monster Hunter and all that. But yeah, it's always like it's kind of like a weird category, but whatever, you know, people are hyped for your game, and that's honestly that's half the battle.
It is, yeah.
For like being in this industry, a big part of it is generating the hype and attention. You know,
no, it definitely is.
That's a wrap on the Game Awards, and I'll see you back here next year because they happen every year.
Yeah,
and when he ended, he's like,
December
"I'll see you December
11th.
11th." I hate when, and I understand. I'm not mad that he did this because, like, oh, it makes you're trying to like whatever. Yeah, I get it. Nothing like makes my skin crawl more than like a work event where after the end of the work event they like announce the date. Like at the end of SGF when he's like, "Oh, I'll see you here like in 11 months and 4 weeks." I'm like, I absolutely not.
Yeah.
I just. And now it's too far out. You know how I'm like, oh, I love a week out for like my a year out. Stop.
Mark your calendar.
Yeah. Continuing with wrapping up the year, we got PlayStation Wrap. PlayStation Wrap Up is what it's called. Isaiah, what is PlayStation Wrap Up?
PlayStation Wrap Up is Sony PlayStation's sort of Spotify Wrapped-esque kind of summary of your year of gaming. It was funny, the site, I don't know if it got leaked early or like what, but like originally the site, I saw it come up on my timeline. I clicked it and the site was just not working. It was like, hey,
same.
Come back later. We fucked up. Like there's too many people doing it right now. We can't do it. And then like after a couple of days, they fixed whatever the issue was. And then now we can sign in. We can see what our PlayStation year of gaming wrap up is like. We can see, I'm sure, what games we played, how many hours we put in, what trophies we earned, and all that goodness. I love the aesthetic. I don't know if it's wrapup.playstation.com for those listening and watching. If you go there, they have this like cutesy sticker aesthetic with everything that I am personally just a huge fan of. I love this like almost like paper craft kind of feel to sites.
Yeah.
And this one does it, I think, exceptionally well.
It also is very like retroed out, like very PlayStation 1, probably of the 30th anniversary of PlayStation. So I'm wondering when the Steam one's going to come out.
That's what I want to see, especially with
I was Googling
like,
for the Steam Deck.
It's like, oh man.
We'll have to come back for the Steam Deck one on the show. But I haven't looked at mine yet. So I want to start right from the beginning. When you click on the page and log in with your PSN, it says, your PSN tag or whatever, your ID, and what year you joined. So what year did you join?
Let me relog back in because it refreshed the page.
All right, I'll start with mine then. Mine is 2012.
Really?
Yeah,
you had an account before this one though, right?
So it gets kind of muddy. Not really, because I made a separate account at one point, just to do like work stuff. Because I'm like, what if I had my work stuff on a different account? I don't know why I thought it's at the time people were like, it was sort of like the answer I got for code stuff was a little weird. It was like, oh well, you can use the code, but make sure it's like something that other people have access to. Because I kind of worked on like so I just kind of like it got weird. But I did have an account since 2012 apparently. But I don't have one before then because I hated and in a way still hate the idea of online gaming. I'm like, who cares? Like, so because I had a PlayStation. My first PlayStation was a PS2. But like, yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't like at the time. I don't think I had much like foresight into like let me make
did you
sure.
have a PS3 or did you?
I had a PS3.
Oh, okay. Oh man, that's crazy.
I didn't do any. What were y'all doing on the PS3? Like going on the internet?
That was when like I feel like that PS3 360 gen is when like online gaming started. Like that was the Halo. Or Halo was technically Xbox One, but it was like Halo 3, biggest online game in fucking forever. Call of Duty 4,
guns, boo! I don't want to shoot.
Sports, you got your FIFAs. You weren't trying to play people online.
I didn't play any FIFA at the time. So yeah, but that was my attitude. Like I'm like I don't want to do this online gaming thing. I'm still kind of this mindset, but maybe not as harshly negative or vocal about it. But I generally did not grow up liking shooters and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to shoot. I didn't even like playing games in first person. That it took me like a long time to be like, you know what? Let me try to play some of these first person games. The feeling was uncomfortable and bad to me. Like I remember Metroid was one of the first person games that I like kind of saw in action, and I'm like, God, I don't want to be
What's
doing
the
all
first
this.
person game that you like?
That I like?
Yeah, like a modern first person game that you're like,
I'm like eating it up.
Yeah,
like,
you
oh my
pop
God,
for
I
it.
love
You're like,
it.
oh, I like this guy.
I am having fun with Indiana Jones, and that's first person. Even though it's not like I don't think that's like a banger game. But that's a great question. I don't know. Like, can you
Portal?
think of anything? Yeah,
You
Portal's
like
first person.
It's not
Yeah,
modern, but
yeah, Portal's first person. Or means walking sims. I play a lot of walking sims, and those are all first person.
Yeah.
But other than that, like a lot of times when you're in first person, I'm like, whoa, zoom out. Like, I mean, I played the modern Far Cry games, and those are first person. But I wouldn't say I'm like popping heavy for those. I'm like,
sure.
I played them and I beat it begrudgingly, like, you know. But yeah, I really didn't like first person. I didn't like shooting, and I didn't like the idea of online, and I didn't want to game with strangers like that. And yeah, I wasn't interested in any of that stuff. Like, it's one of the reasons why, like, come Wii time, I was like, you know what? This game thing, not as it used to be. I'm like, Nintendo's out here with their Wiimote and Nunchuck, which I've talked many times about that I really hated. And then across the aisle, PlayStation, Xbox, the vibe felt very shooter bro-y. And I'm like, I liked Jak and Daxter and Mario. And Mario's got this weird stick that I don't want to play with, and Jak's dead. So maybe like the games that I like aren't really made anymore, which I know sounds ridiculous. I'm sure there are plenty of games, but also it was a different time. You know, I'm younger, less access to games, less access to game information. Like, you know, every console I only owned like 12 games.
Sure.
Maybe 16, like per generation.
Yeah.
And I was late to every generation. So it was a very different time. So I guess at some point I was like, let me make this PSN account.
Yeah.
I don't know. It says 2012.
Oh,
that's my
right.
story. But what was yours? You were like,
I'm there day one,
in the
2006.
that's insane.
Yeah.
So sixth grade, you were just like,
PS3 dropped, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, hell, we were online. I'm playing Graw. I'm playing racing people in Need for Speed and Burnout Paradise and Resistance.
see, and I played racing games, but not online.
Oh, okay.
It was me and Edwin. That's it.
I mean, in Burnout Paradise, I did race people online, but I think even before that, like Need for Speed, it was more like the leaderboard stuff, where it's like, oh, I just want to see how I compare. I don't think I actually did like racing against other people. Day one, baby. Yeah. Well, I guess technically not day one, because like, you know, the PS2 had online.
Yeah, like day
no
12
one ever did.
or something.
Yeah. But yeah, what's your trophy level?
294.
Oh, that's pretty good. I'm
thank you.
380. So
I'm surprised that I'm sure that gap is actually
it's
a lot of work.
exponential for sure. Yeah,
but yeah, like I really didn't get into doing trophy stuff until like recently, and I've never done, not to like, you know, make excuses, but I've never done the like auto pop. You put the game in and you get the like I haven't done any of that stuff. So yeah, you know, we're trucking along. Yeah, we're trucking along. So then I click let's go, and it kind of loads over. It is a very cute aesthetic. Okay, in 2024, you played X number of games.
I'm going to go for you. You're over 25, but under 30.
How do you want me to answer this? Should I just give you the answer, or
however you see fit?
Oh, see, Isaiah loves to pass
All
the
right,
buck
I'm going to
back
go.
to
You're
me.
28.
No, higher.
Oh, do you cross 30?
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, 32.
higher.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I'm kind of
38.
No, 48.
Wow.
Play 48 games.
Geez.
Yeah, you know, 42 on the PS5.
Okay, I'm not to discredit you. You definitely play that many games. Fine.
Hey, the tape doesn't lie.
In my head, I'm like, there's no way you beat 48 games, but it's not beat. It's played.
42 were on PS5. 6 were on PS4. Curious how that breaks down. Okay, for you, let's see. You, I'm gonna guess, is less than me for some reason. Even though you definitely beat, and you have beaten more games than me this year so far. And I'll probably stay true because you're still playing games.
Yeah,
like,
I'm about to be
stop
mini
already.
today.
Yeah, man, stop. You want to join me? We need more people to finish some of these like lingering games we have. Okay, I'm gonna say I feel like you're not booting up new stuff a lot, really. I'm gonna say 22.
Higher.
Okay, 32.
33.
Okay. Yeah.
25 PS5, 8 PS4. What was your first game
of the year? Do you want me to just tell you? This one I'll just tell you, I think.
Sure.
Alan Wake 2.
Okay,
because I was working on beating it from the previous year. And being like, I hope this game is what I thought it was when I did all my podcasts. And I'm like, yeah, it was both better and worse than I thought. And it kind of evened out, you know? The highs are really high and the lows are kind of low, but...
I don't believe this is my first game. I mean, they're telling me it is, so it has to be true.
Okay.
They're saying it's Chicory.
No.
I don't remember booting up Chicory this year.
Booting up Chicory?
Unless I beat it like during the... Did I beat it during the Christmas break? I don't
remember you playing Chicory either.
I don't remember playing Chicory either.
I mean, I know you played it, but I don't remember. I thought you played it when the year it came out. Maybe you didn't. Maybe this was like...
no, I came back to it late because originally I bounced off of it. Remember, I was like, oh, I hate this.
Maybe you did come back to finish it.
Maybe.
Did you ever decide it wasn't dumb or...
Yeah. No, I said it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
From dumb to fine.
I got over the coloring aspect.
There's your back of the box quote. The coloring aspect. While you were busy going online and shooting everybody, some of us were getting into art, Isaiah. Okay. Some of us were building sensibilities. All right.
Oh man. Yeah.
This is gonna make me sound like a boomer. How do I hit the next one?
I think you just swipe to you swipe over.
Oh.
There's also buttons on the left and right.
Am I hallucinating? I don't see any buttons on mine. Sorry, this is like
that
bad.
big right button.
This thing? Oh my god, it like blends in for me. Okay, it's all good. I figured it out. Okay, top 5 games this year. Let me try to guess for you. Top 5 games.
You can definitely get one. You can maybe even get 2.
You know, I'll just do 5 guesses, and then however it lands, it lands.
All right.
God, for you, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
That is on there.
Okay.
That's 4.
What was Isaiah playing? I see this sicko sitting there all the fucking... Metaphor Fantasio, obviously.
Number 1, baby. Let's go.
And then the end, give me the hour counts, but once I'm done with the guesses, okay. When Isaiah's sitting there and he's in his bag, and I'm like, stop. There's too many... You're beating too many games. What is he playing? You didn't do too much FIFA, so I don't think it's that. And then Astrobot?
No, I'm actually surprised that's not on here.
I can only use what I've played so much. Let me think.
You played all the games I played.
Oh, God.
If that helps you.
Yeah, let me try to... I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't want people to just have to listen to me thinking forever, but not Astrobot. So, okay, it can't be Horizon Lego Adventures because that's shorter than Astrobot.
Correct.
What were you... no, because Lorelai, you played on Switch. What was this man playing? I feel like there must be a giant game that I'm just totally forgetting that you played.
Is.
Oh, you know what? Infinite Wealth.
Like a Dragon, but...
Oh, okay. Because you didn't go back to... You didn't finish him. Okay. Yeah, you could... Okay, Like a Dragon.
I didn't start Infinite Wealth, I don't think.
So those are my 3 guesses. I have 2 guesses left. You know what? Suicide Squad.
No.
Okay.
No. I can give you a hint.
I'll take one hint and then I will give up.
One of these...
Concede my guesses.
We gave a tip of the hat in our Game Awards predictions.
A tip of the hat. Oh, Prince of Persia?
Yep.
I'm surprised because I just thought the hours wouldn't be up there.
It was 26. I thought it was going to be...
I thought Astrobot would be... Because I'm like, if Astrobot's not there, I don't think Prince of Persia's there.
I would say if I didn't platinum it, I don't think it would be on the list. I think going back and putting those extra hours in for the platinum. And then there's one more, which you played as well. You didn't play it this year.
I got to give up. What do you got?
I don't know. Yeah, it might have came out this year, so I don't know. Marvel Midnight Suns.
Oh, okay. Give me 5 to 1 in the hours.
5 Prince of Persia, 26 hours. 4 Final Fantasy Rebirth, 54 hours. 3 Marvel Midnight Suns, 59 hours. 2 Yakuza Like a Dragon, 84 hours.
Okay.
And then the best game this year. Absolute banger game. Metaphor Refantasio, 101 hours.
101 hours. There you go.
Cracked the 3 digits.
Well, I will say, it's not even. I was going to ask you what's the best game on that list, but you're just going to say Metaphor Refantasio. So, shout out to Metaphor. Though you do have. Oh no, you don't have Astrobot even on the list, so it's really easy.
We must have just blitzed through Astrobot. It was a fantastic. What I can only imagine is 25 hours.
What do you got for me? Same deal. You can guess up to 5 times. And then we'll run through this.
Persona.
Stuff. Yep.
Okay, because that's got to be number 1. Then, oh man, what are you on the couch playing or streaming? Is Spider-Man on there?
Nah.
Okay, I didn't know it's like your trophy.
But if he was subbed more, he might be on there. Doing those trophy
trying to come back.
Doing those trophy hunts, yeah.
What are you playing on the PlayStation?
I know it's so hard to visualize when you're in the.
Prince of Persia. I'll
Yep.
throw that on there. Okay. Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Yep.
I'll throw
You
that
already
on
know.
there.
Yep.
You didn't
have
play
2
enough
guesses
Metaphor, I
remaining.
think, for it to be on there.
Correct. Sadly, I did not play enough Metaphor for it to be on there, but it is still in my top 10. At me if you want to. I don't know. You know.
I don't know how many hours Life is Strange was.
Nah,
But that
it's
could be
not
okay. Can I?
But that counts as one of your guesses. You have one guess remaining.
Okay. All right.
It is impossible for you to succeed now. if that helps.
Let's go with. Oh man, I know it's not right. FIFA.
No. I
Dang,
wish.
really?
I'd love to get more
All
into
right.
FIFA. All right, I'm going to go 5-1. We got
Okay.
number 5, Astrobot, 27 hours.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so there he is.
I feel like you definitely had to put more time into FIFA than 27 hours.
Nah, I actually haven't played that much FIFA. I'm just really good at it.
You do like 2 days, and you get like each game is I don't know, like 2 hours.
Nah, what the FIFA? No, the
Well,
games
each
are like
gaming
5.
session. Sorry,
Oh,
like if
nah.
you boot up FIFA, you're playing for
No,
at
I
least.
played last night.
2
I did
hours.
2 games. Quick in and out, you know?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours.
Yeah. It felt like 2 hours because you were really enticed by my gameplay, but no, it was quick. Okay, number 4.
Mm-hmm.
This one's gonna kill you. You ready? I'm so excited. Jack 2. 27 hours.
But that was this year, wasn't
we
it?
did the Jack 2 thing for the American Heart Association,
you're
which
right.
video
Oh,
viewers, I'm wearing one of my American
man.
Heart sweatshirts that I got for fundraising.
Dang, I forgot that was
Jack
this
2,
year.
baby.
I
Oh,
forgot that
it's-
was this year. Yeah, no, that would definitely be
This
there.
is a lengthy boy. Jack 2, man. 27 hours in Haven City. And you know what?
Long time.
No platinum. There's still time to go back and, find God or something. I don't know.
There
Number
is
3,
time.
Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. 39 hours.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe I paused it. Maybe I'm just bad at the game.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what's
I
going on.
think it had to have been like a pause kind of thing.
Yeah. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. 87 hours. Don't ask me why I haven't finished Metaphor. But I put all my time to take down Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the 210. I'm like, we don't need my help propping Metaphor up. We do need my help taking Rebirth down.
Wait, so you put some more than 87 hours into something? Or was that number
Yeah,
one?
I put more than 87 hours. 102 hours Persona 5 Royal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Damn.
So big win for
So-
Atlas. And I'm not even close to being done. I'm like halfway done with that game. So like that's the other reason that's like,
Ooh.
I could give you another dozen hours in a Metaphor. It's not going to change my opinion on the game, and it's not going to help me beat it. So let's just play some other games for a little while.
That's crazy.
Yeah, though I still do want to go back and eventually do my dream of the 1 a day. I think that will help me a lot. Yeah, the 1 day a day, but I don't know. Maybe today I could start. I probably won't, but I could.
You can start any day.
Guys, breaking. Any day can be the first day of the rest of your life, okay? All right, moving on to the next one. Your gaming style. This one we can just share out. They said that, I think I got this last year too, and I remember talking like, goofing around, like talking shit online, like, for all y'all that say I don't know shit about the genre, then why is my gaming style? Role player, baby, RPG. You spend 50% of your game in the expansive worlds and immersive narratives of RPGs. And honestly, wish it was higher because there were like 8 other RPGs I wanted to play.
You know what? We're birds of a feather because I'm right there with you. Role player. 66% of my gaming.
Yeah.
Was in these narrative worlds. So.
There you go. Getting into the fun stuff. We got a calendar. They do a monthly breakdown. I think these we can also just kind of run through and share out.
Sure.
So I got January, Prince of Persia, 39 hours. Let's just stick with that main thing. They also break it down to like trophies and sessions and stuff. But
January, Marvel Midnight Suns, 59 hours. Yeah.
February, 40 hours into Rebirth. I really tried, y'all. I could not get this game beaten.
For me, Yakuza Like a Dragon, 34 hours.
Nice. Okay, we're neck and neck for a while. In March, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 5 hours. I said just a quick 5. I got 5.
That's like half a mission.
Yeah, just a quick dip into the Rebirth bucket.
Like a Dragon, 13 hours.
Okay, so March we both like dropped down off of this. Okay, I wonder what was.
April really dropped for me.
All right, I got Rebirth again, 10 hours.
Okay. Like a Dragon, 4 hours.
Okay. May, I have one of my favorite games I played this year, Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Oh, hell
11
yeah.
hours. with
That was a great
with
stream.
good old Michael Huber.
Hell yeah.
So fun. A great time.
That was a good stream.
Amazing times with I would say a good game. I would rate that a good game.
It was fun to watch too.
It's honestly, it's a good game that I like low key highly recommend. Like if you have someone to play with, I feel like it is. Once I finished it, I'm like, we should play it together. Like it was really fun. I had a really good time. But what would you have in May?
May, I was down in the animal well for 17 hours.
Jeez. All right.
Great time. Great 17 hours. Fantastic 17 hours.
June. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 16 hours.
I was back on the Yakuza train, 17 hours.
All right, July, Persona 5 Royal, 14 hours.
This is when I started up Rebirth. I put in 37 hours.
All right, we got August, Jack 2, 27 hours.
This is also when I was like, man, this Rebirth is ass, and I put in 3 hours.
September, Astrobot came through with 27 hours.
Astrobot, 22 hours.
October, honestly, I put more time into Metaphor than I thought based on this. Metaphor, 24 hours.
Okay.
I feel like my clock in the game is less than that, but not by a lot. I definitely am in the double digits for sure.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Metaphor as well, 86 hours.
Jeez.
I was putting in full-time work. So good.
November, I was like, you know what? What if we went back to Rebirth? 15 hours.
I was like, you have fun. I'm in Metaphor with 17 hours.
No, but you joined me. That was when I beat it in November.
Oh, yeah.
So you were there.
I was there, but
December,
my heart was really with Metaphor.
A quick 4 hours in Persona 5 Royal. Like one stream, basically. My final stream. Gaming session, it says one. Which, okay. I don't know when they stopped counting this because it's like, I definitely played like yesterday, but obviously they have to stop at one point.
And honestly, I'm just saying, I have one gaming session, a Metaphor. It must have been for 8 hours. It was when I went and just wrote credits.
The end.
So.
And then curious, what do they have on your playlist? They made a playlist just for you. Here's some pics of things we want you to buy.
Yeah,
thanks. Literally, they don't know me at all. I've never seen a worse spread. Is it the identical spread? Do you have Bloodborne in there?
No.
Because, I have Bloodborne.
Bloodborne sounds awesome. I love
Bloodborne's
cool,
like
20
but
minutes.
like it's, when you think me, you don't think Bloodborne.
No.
They put the Pluggy Squire, which someone could argue, indie, yeah, Bro, they gave me Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Like, stop. Stop. They put Remnant, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and then I don't even know what this game is.
I got Remnant too.
We get Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy. They said you like Final Fantasy,
I got
right?
That too.
They said you can't stop playing Final Fantasy.
They gave me Crisis Core. They gave me
in their
Strangers
defense,
of Paradise.
we played a lot of Rebirth.
We did put hours in it.
So I feel like that is kind of fair. That's actually like low key valid. Low key valid.
They gave me Last of Us Part 1. Dead Island 2, Remnant, and Like a Dragon Ishin.
A lot of these games we named are perfectly fine games. Maybe even great games. Nothing wrong with the games. The picks are all over the place.
Yeah.
You learn nothing from my hours. Like, I don't... it's whatever. Next up, how many hours did you put into PlayStation this year?
I put in...
It's gotta be.
You want to guess?
It's gotta be something nasty because you already had the 100 hours from Metaphor, and you did so much more.
Is 100 hours,
I'm scared. I'm gonna say you have 560 hours.
No, not that high.
Okay, I'll do two more guesses. 470.
Close, but a little bit higher.
487.
483.
Okay,
it's pretty good.
What is your guess
close.
for me?
I know you were nowhere near as I was, but I think you still put again that
I could not fly so high.
You beat me in Persona, so I'm gonna go. That's at least 100 there. Another 80 easily in Final Fantasy. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go 210.
No, higher.
200s.
Higher.
Wow. 320.
No, higher.
Wow.
Isaiah. This is what I learned from this wrap up is Isaiah underestimates the hell out of me. 475.
Yeah. How are you like right there with me?
Because some of us taste test more than others, Anyone could start a game they like and finish it. But can you start 800 games that you never get back to? Like
that honestly is very... I feel like also most of the gaming I see you do... Or not most of the gaming I see, I feel like is on other platforms. It's mostly on Steam because you are either... streaming some new game or something like that.
I think I'm actually on PlayStation mostly.
I think most of your casual
Steam is definitely
gaming, but like
coming through.
Again, the whole like, I have to play for work or something like that.
Yeah,
I see that off PlayStation.
Nah, I think you're under. You're. I think you're. Assuming. I actually play mostly console.
All right.
Yeah, I try, and whenever I can, I try to get console.
All right.
But, you know, I do play on PC as well.
Wow.
So we'll see what those stats are. But yeah, I put in a lot of hours here.
How many play sessions did you have?
284.
282. Wow.
Okay.
Right.
Games played.
We're neck and neck.
Yep. It's like day and later that day, you know? It's crazy. Okay. In 2024, I earned 387 trophies. I got 4 platinums.
Okay.
So my level increased by 24.
Wow.
What did you have?
I had 428 trophies, 6 platinums.
Nice.
And my level increased by 13.
Okay. Then they got, we don't have to take a trip. They have your trophy milestones, which is cute. Social stats.
Yeah.
You know what? With me hitting multiplayer, how many multiplayer hours do you have?
Ooh.
We'll just share these out.
I'm at 34.
I'm at 32, which is
Really?
I don't know. When am I playing multiplayer? Helldivers, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was the
I
game
didn't
we
play
played a lot.
an insane amount, but we played like a good amount of Helldivers.
Yeah.
I got 2 new friends. I sent 9 messages.
One new friend and one message.
That's by me. Not the new friend, but the.
And no place. No,
I joined one
share
party.
play.
You know what? Too, I played with Rob on FIFA quite a little bit. We did like 2 streams
you guys had,
together.
like, 2 streams there.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I feel like that was the equivalent of me playing like Helldivers with like Eddie or something. You know?
And then, gosh, what is it? 15. I don't know what this is.
Broadcast
PlayStation
or-
Stars. You scored 15 campaigns. I don't know what's going on there.
12. I had 12. I don't know.
Sure. What a year. Share your summary. Yeah. How did you feel about your year on PlayStation?
Honestly, a really good year. There are still games. I'm surprised that this isn't higher because the Steam Deck has actually taken a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm scared for your Steam Deck stats. I think that's where our gap will be greater. Because I do think you play more than me. In part because sometimes I'll just be podcasting for hours, and during that time you were just playing.
Yeah. It's an easy swap of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we started this podcast to slow Isaiah's gaming down, actually, because it was out of hand.
But really, you're just giving me a reason to play more.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like even on the Steam Deck, I'm not like putting in this many hours for sure.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. Yesterday, I started up Mini Shoot and put in. I don't know, easy 4 or 5 hours into that, well into the night. So you do that a couple times a week and you're golden.
Yeah. If you could, or had to maybe rather, take all the hours you spend gaming and put it into something else, what would you put it into?
Ooh.
Like you have to. Like it's like an auto convert or something.
I'm assuming it can't just be like work.
It can be, yeah. Is that what you would want to do with those hours? If like the devil came and said like you have to pick something else.
I would say it's just like a one-time thing, right? It's not like
like for one year it's like
fitness.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. Give me this many hours in the gym on a treadmill or like biking and swimming and running and stuff. Oh yeah.
We'll have to do maybe next year we'll do our like the fitness wrapped or make ourselves. Yeah. They actually don't do a wrapped really for like Apple rings and stuff, I don't think, or like Nike
They
Run
have
Club.
like milestones and like awards that you can unlock throughout the year, but I don't.
They haven't updated that Nike Run Club app in 13 years. I've been on there forever, and
it was on his last.
The
leg.
UI is identical. They said we nailed it when we got off the ground. Talk about, how you say like I want to make a project and just be like this is done. Mm-hmm. That was Nike Run Club for Nike. They're like we made this, it's done, it works. You're not getting any more updates. You're not getting any new sticker. Like,
you don't need anything else.
We're not. You know what? And I don't even care if you do need something else. You're not going to get anything else. For me, I think, man, I don't know. It's also weird because like gaming's also part of my job. So I guess let's ignore that part as like a wrinkle in it. Mm-hmm. What would I want? Man, I don't know. I don't really want to do anything else.
Music?
I thought about piano, but I'm like, well, I have to do the work though of that. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
It'd be really good though.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, maybe I think I'd get the most benefit from reading. I haven't read in a hot minute.
That'd be cool. Honestly, that's a really good one.
I think I could use some. I need to start reading some books.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Also, on. From a hater perspective, I have to say that you being Metaphor in like 100 hours or whatever, well, you didn't have to read all this fucking text that I've been reading in Persona 5. I read so much of Persona. I've now finally got to the point where I'm like, hey guys, we gonna start hitting, fast forward through some of the lighter stuff, like the cutscenes we still watch and stuff. But I'm like, I don't gotta read these kids' text messages about it. Let's just keep going.
They have like a whole, I assume what's a similar esque kind of thing in Metaphor with like the backstory of like things like character bios and stuff like that. I'll read those, but it's not conversational. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I met this new character. Here's a tweet sized blurb about them or their people or their culture or something. And then it's done. It's not like every day someone new is messaging you or anything like that,
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see when I get out of Persona 5. I'm going to get out next year.
I'm scared to try it. I want to try it, but
I think you'll generally like it. I don't think you'll like it as much as Metaphor. I wonder how annoyed you'll be, though, by like I don't personally find the quality of life annoyingly different than Metaphor, but I wonder if that'll be different for you. But yeah, it's a cool game. Like it's got fun stuff. And I think it's nicely segmented. Like all of the dungeons feel like it almost feels like you're playing a collection of short stories that do end up having an overarching narrative, which I know some would argue, bitch, that's just a story. Like, yeah, kind of. But like, they feel very distinct because it's like, oh, you're going after like this guy who did this bad thing. And then it's like, and now we're going after this other guy who did a bad thing. And eventually there are like more overarching connections, but like a lot of the dungeons are like a lot more isolated. And I do think the dungeon design is really fun. I have not played enough Metaphor to know how distinct the dungeons get. Like, do the dungeons get more distinct in Metaphor, do you feel like? Or are they all kind of like, now we're in the woods, now we're in
they're definitely all dungeons. And they're different in that, like, sometimes a dungeon might have like a mechanic that's new or like an enemy type that's different. And so you have to like do things differently there.
Sure.
But like, they all feel like dungeons.
Okay, so yeah, like Persona is different, and I think this is a place where Persona 5 Royal outshines Metaphor a bit. Not in the deepest way, because honestly, sometimes the dungeon navigation Persona is like annoying. Because like, you know what? Actually, what if we just walked through 3 doors and called it a day? Like, I don't want to try to figure this out. So it's not perfect, but one thing I really like about Persona 5 Royal that I feel like is missing from Metaphor is the dungeons are like themed on the people that you're like the boss in the dungeon. So like, if you were a boss in a dungeon, because it's all based on the corrupted hearts and stuff, like your dungeon might be, there's
a Wingstop in this dungeon.
I guess usually they're more reflective of like your desires. So maybe yours would be like,
there's 2 Wingstops in this dungeon.
2 Wingstops. Yeah, or like maybe it'd be, okay, like one guy's dungeon he's like a mobster guy who like, shakes people down for money, and his place is like a bank.
Oh,
and you're like going through a bank vault.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's cool, but yeah, so I like that. I think that aspect is like pretty cool and like enjoyable. Again, some of those dungeons are better made than others, but I'm like, oh, this is like nice. You can see like the little themes and all that. Yeah. So
yeah, I'll put it on the list for something to pick up next year.
Yeah. Yeah. After I finish it, please.
Oh man, if I could laugh you, that'd be crazy.
I don't think you ever could. Well, I think if you really tried, you could, because I only stream it. So I have to have the time to stream to like do it. I do want to do like some big weeks of just like, hey, every day we're going to like play and really start to move through these days. But yeah.
January 1st, I'm coming for you.
Oh my God. The fucking calling card. Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious what you'll think. But that was 2024 wrap up. PlayStation, get a nicer name for this, I think.
Yeah.
Wrap up? It's like wrapped? I don't know. We'll come with something, but yeah, let us know in the comments and on social what some of your analytics are. I am 3,000% positive that someone listening is like an absolute sicko. And is like,
yeah.
Like 900 hours,
easily, yeah.
8 million games.
Yeah.
And they're yelling at every end of the year content because they're like, you didn't play Gefunke Fish? Like, I don't know. All right. And for our not game section, speaking of replays, wrapped, all that stuff, let's get into Apple Music's replay. We are now 2 become 1. We are both on Apple Music. I forget if I talked about the Apple Music drama on the show before, of me being like, I'm going to go to Apple Music because the money.
I think so.
I think I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I joined because you are part of, you have your secret family of your friends who are on your Apple, the Apple One. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Me and my best friend Arthur, for a long time we were together on an Apple family plan, and we have another slot, and it was like, hey, like Jan, if you want, you can come in with us. You get the Apple Music, Apple Fitness, Apple Arcade, you get all these things if you want it. And eventually you were like, you know what? I'm tired of paying Spotify. Sure.
I will say, crushing to not actually feel that $18 a month savings. Like that is not, I'm not like, I moved this down to go to Disney. No, I don't know where that money went. It's kind of just floating in the ether of my budget. But hey, one less line on the budget, which is nice.
Yeah,
that helps.
You get to hide that YNAB category.
I did hide the Spotify category. One less subscription. Would love to never have subscriptions.
Yeah, man.
I'd love to just give someone $1,000 and tell them, leave me alone, please. Please leave my family alone. But anyway, we're on Apple Music. So I joined Apple Music in, I think, June.
I think it was around there. Yeah, around the summertime.
It was when, no, I had an account before just because I have like an Apple ID. This is kind of similar to almost the conversation we had before about like the PlayStation, the PSN.
Yeah.
I've been on having digital versions of my music for many, many years. I was a big iPod fan. I had the iPod Classic. I had the Shuffle that had the touchscreen. Like I have always loved music. Back then, though, I had a lot of CDs. So I basically would rip my CD into iTunes. And honestly, I kind of regret not properly keeping up with whatever that iTunes account was because it had like mad music on it, which would have been cool to like have. I don't know. That kind of just went. I don't know what account that was with. So I don't know. I got an Apple ID now, and hopefully I don't keep remaking these different accounts. But so anyway, let's get into it. And you've been on Apple. How long have you been with Apple for music? Your whole life?
Yeah, since it dropped. I don't remember when Apple Music first dropped. Let me see if I can quickly Music.
Sure. Before Apple Music, I was on Spotify. Before Spotify, I was on RDO. So.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I've really been in this game.
Yeah, no, it was around here. I had an internship in college at Bose, like the headphone people. And I think through them, I found out about like Deezer, and I might even gotten like Tidal through them for a bit.
Nice,
so
yeah.
I had a couple different services. I never had like, I don't think I ever had paid Spotify. I think before Apple Music, I was similar to you. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy the albums I want, rip them, maybe throw on Pandora or something like that.
Yeah.
If, like I just want a change of scenery. But then it wasn't until Apple Music came. I was like, oh, great. I could just be all in on this Apple ecosystem. Cool.
I was big on Pandora as well for a while. I don't think I had, maybe I did have a paid Pandora. I don't remember, but I was hitting those stations. Like, I feel like Pandora was when I was introduced to the concept of stations. And it's kind of when stations became big, where it's like you could take an artist or a song you like and make a station around it. And that was like revolutionary at the time.
Cool.
I was like, wow, I can discover like more artists like this artist. And it was so cool. But anyway, let's get into it. Apple Replay. We won't do guessing games on this one because we already shared outside the show what our stuff is. Starting with your time listened, your minutes. What do your minutes look like?
It is insane. The difference between our minutes, given that I have an entire 6 months head start on you. I am just over 28,500. So 28,400.
I am 24,889 minutes.
Which is insane.
So I'm almost tied with you.
Insane.
Yeah. So and honestly, I'm like, we got to pump these numbers up. I'm excited for next year when I have the full year.
You listen to so much.
To go
and mind
through.
you, this is like at the beginning of December, so it really was only like 4 months.
Yeah.
You know,
I had like
if
3
you joined
weeks of really just
the middle of June, let's just like, call it a wash in the middle of June to like the beginning of late November, beginning of December. That's insane.
Yeah, And honestly, I want more. I think I could do more. I think there's room to grow in the time. But yeah. All right, we got top artist, or maybe just like we'll just do the top 5. I'm kind of looking at through their weird like storyfication of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if at the end they give me like a nice graphic. I would assume they would, but
I know you can like scroll down and just see.
Oh yeah, let's just do that. Let's just scroll down and do the top artists.
Yeah, I think the minutes is the only thing that's in their like little highlight reel that isn't on the page.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's do our top 5 artists. Who do you got? Go 5 to 1. Who's there?
5 to 1. We got Childish Gambino at 980 minutes. We got Tyler the Creator at basically 1,200 minutes. Kendrick at 1,400 minutes, and then Steve Lacy at 1,500 minutes. I'm surprised. Oh, sorry, that's 4. 5 or number 1. Sorry, Frank Ocean with basically 2,400 minutes.
You're one of the Frank Ocean sickos. So then we realized that you're not just like a stan. It's for a while we were falling asleep to the album Blonde.
It has been my like go to sleep album for a while.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore though. Are you still doing that in secret?
No. But for a while it was like very much all right, cool. Like, you start your bedtime routine. I'm gonna throw on
our Ocean sounds.
Yeah, like, you get going. You fall asleep to it. So it is inflated for sure. I think without the going to sleep stuff, it probably would be like maybe behind Tyler, above Childish. Still probably top 5. It's still kind of
crazy because Isaiah, he's not putting out more music.
We don't know that, all right? If we're getting a new Rihanna album, we could get a new Frank Ocean album.
We're not getting a new Rihanna album.
She said she's working on something.
An album or like a lip gloss?
I think she said she was working on her album now.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I would love a new Rihanna album. Her last album was incredible.
Yeah, man.
All right, same deal. 5-1. 5, I got SZA, 6:15 minutes. 4, we got Charlie XCX at 6:55. 3, we got Tyler the Creator at 1,100 minutes. 2, we have Beyonce at 1,300 minutes. And 1, we have Kendrick Lamar at a slightly higher 1,300 minutes.
That's impressive. Yeah.
And Kendrick just barely dropped that album like in November. Yeah. So, I mean, he has obviously other music, and I listen to his other music, but he really climbed up there.
What's your total artist?
1,100.
Okay. I'm at 1,400.
Okay. So you love those stations.
Yeah, I think they give you, maybe they give you a breakdown, maybe they don't. But like, yeah, I like my stations, my playlists, my like themed playlists. Yeah. It'll be like, oh, it's easy Sunday morning music. Like, oh hell yeah, Sunday morning, pop that on and just listen to what Apple
tomorrow.
Music
I can't wait to see what Apple Music has in store for us tomorrow. What are your top 5 songs?
It's coming to no surprise, it is all Steve Lacy and Frank Ocean.
That's so funny to me.
We have Hamlet at Steve Lacy at number 5, Static by Steve Lacy at number 4, Nikes by Frank Ocean at number 3, and then Mercury, Steve Lacy number 2, and Bad Habit, Steve Lacy number 1.
Wow, Bad Habits number 1, 2024 is actually kind of wild.
And the thing is, so I will say Steve Lacy is definitely a more conscious, like the reason why, even though Frank Ocean has more minutes played, one, the Blonde album is longer than Steve Lacy's album. And so if I'm just putting on an album, inherently that's just going to be more minutes. But 2, I consciously put on Steve Lacy more for like timing, where it's like, Same. I got 45 minutes to get ready or something, or 30 minutes to get ready or something like that. Let me put on Steve Lacy. It's a good short album. I know I can like pace to it. You know what I mean? Like, this album, this track. All right, I know I got like, 4 more tracks before I really got to be out the door kind of thing.
I agree. Steve Lacy is also my timing album or whatever, Gemini writes. So I'll put that on a lot for that purpose. And that's also why it's kind of like surfaced in some of my stats as well.
I will say my entire top songs is all Steve Lacy, Gemini Writes, and Frank Ocean Blonde. Until number 15. Do you want to try and guess what number?
Oh my God.
What number 15 is?
Is it Not Like Us?
No.
Is it like one of the songs from the LA playlist? Is it This Is LA? Like This Is LA?
That's a good guess though.
Huh. I'm trying to think because you're not really a reach for a song kind of person. So I wonder what would be in there.
Think more just like try to find the artist.
Is it Tyler?
No.
I gotta give up because we could do this forever.
Yeah,
if we weren't on content, I would keep guessing.
Birds of a Feather.
Oh yeah, Billie of course. Yeah, you love Billie.
Man.
I'm surprised Billie's not in there with her new album. And her album's pretty long, I think.
I will say she was number 6 in the artist.
Okay, so
like,
she just missed
the cut.
She just missed it. For me, top songs number 5, we got Like Him featuring Lola Young. It's Tyler Creator's track. We got Sexy to Someone by Clairo. We got 3, Sweet Honey. I don't want to mess up the track name. Sweet Honey Buckin' is the full track name by Beyonce featuring Shabuzi. Number 2, we got Die With a Smile, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. Keen listeners will remember that this was also my duo song of the year that I selected personally. And number 1, we got Un Por Ciento, question mark? I'm a no sabo kid. I gotta be honest. It's like un times like 102 is like how it's written, but I think they mean like 100, like not 100%, but like a percentage is like what the song is. It's like, well, I only have my phone's at 1%. That's like what the song's about. You know, but I'm using it to text you. I'm drunk after the club. You know, that kind of vibe. It's Grupo Frontera and Bad Bunny. Yeah, great track. A great set of tracks here, honestly.
How many total songs?
Total songs? Let's see. My total songs are like a little bit over 3,000.
Okay, yeah, similar. 37.
Yeah. I will say some of Apple Music's numerical presentation is a little like, I wish they like did it differently. Like, I feel like I'd be more interested in like percentage of time listened than minutes. Like, I can't really conceptualize like 1,300 minutes well. So when they're like, oh, like I do like for the top songs they have plays. Like my top song is like 41 plays, and that's cool. But some of the minutes, I'm like, I don't really know what this means. This is just like a bucket of minutes we got. And then the last I want to get at is the top albums. I'll start with this one. Number 5, we got Charm by Clairo, which honestly I didn't feel like I was listening to Clairo that much, but the numbers don't lie. I guess I was putting that album on. And what's funny is I feel like I barely have gotten to know that album, so I'm like, I kind of have to play it more now. We got Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter, so maybe I am a Sabrina Carpenter stan. I don't know. She's in there. It kept playing, you know, I don't know. We got Chromacopia by Tyler, Cowboy Carter by Beyonce, and number 1 is GNX, Kendrick Lamar, which is insane because I came out literally just last month.
Yeah.
But it's a great album.
It's a fantastic album.
So good.
If it came out even like 2 months earlier, I think it would be like number 2 for me. I'm gonna give the number 6 shout out to Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft. Number 5, How Do You Sleep at Night, Tizo Touchdown.
Fun, yeah.
4 is GNX, Kendrick Lamar. 3, Bando Stone, Childish Gambino. Number 2, Gemini Rights by Steve Lacy, and number 1, Blonde by Frank Ocean.
Number 1 by Blonde in 2024 is actually the villainous word.
And again, it's skewed because it was the
of
Sleep
Ocean
album,
Sounds,
but, you know,
but we didn't do that the whole year.
But the stats are there. Hey.
Also, I have a question. So, what's going on with you and your music? Because I feel like I do sometimes hear you listening to music, like when you shower. Like I'll hear from like the bathroom. You have like the little HomePod.
People get a HomePod. It's so good.
I hate the HomePod.
I know you hate it, but I love it.
The HomePod,
and it's great for the bathroom.
I'm surprised the HomePod's not going off now with us just talking about it. I feel like I'll be, you know, pouring my soul out, and the HomePod's like, "Hello, like, do you want to listen to something? Like, what's going on?" The HomePod does not work for me. The idea of a circular buddy who plays music, you would think I'd love it.
You would think.
HomePod, straight trash, in my opinion. I think is a menace in this house, and I can't stand the HomePod.
You just gotta embrace it. You gotta give it like a week of like active embracing, and then you'll be around to it.
The act of talking to your devices, the technology is not there yet. You don't have to talk to it.
You can still just just on your phone, just the same way you can cast. You cast your Bluetooth speaker that you just carry around. What if you just had a speaker in every room? I just
Bluetooth. I think Bluetooth is such a stronger connection than casting. It's the same casting thing. Can be so finicky. I've been trying to like.
But you can cast a multiple thing. If we had a HomePod in different rooms, you can have every room in sync.
I will say I'm looking forward to us eventually getting that
is just
going.
Wherever you are.
But until that, now I'm just gonna brokely carry my Bose speaker that you gave me like 8 years ago, even though we've only been dating for 6 years.
Great speaker.
Yeah, it's actually like super good. It's like I have no reason to get a better one. It's like this is very solid. Fair. But here's a question I have for you.
Yes.
This is, Tizo has that album, How Do You Sleep at Night? This is what keeps me up at night. When are you listening to this music? Because I obviously maybe when headphones on, running or working out, sure. I don't see you often with headphones on. And I also don't hear any music. When is the listening time happening? And maybe this is also why your listening is so much smaller than mine, but I don't know. Like I feel like I don't.
Yeah.
What's going on? Are you like, I pass out at night and you're playing all your albums?
No, it's to be honest, most of the time is like that shower, morning, night routine kind of thing. Like I'm getting ready for bed or I'm getting ready for the day. Usually if I'm in the bathroom, basically I'm definitely playing music. I'm tapping my phone to the HomePod. It's transferring over the music I'm playing. And then, boom, get easy minutes right there. I think secondary to that is probably the car.
Okay, yeah.
Anytime we're driving somewhere and we're listening to music, that all counts towards me.
Yes, because it's your Apple still.
Yeah.
I think, the car might be where you're racking up.
And then maybe once in a while, when we were really heavy into like the library, that was another time when, or work sessions where it's like, oh, maybe you playing music, maybe I'm listening to that, but it's also just as equal chance that I'm just putting on my own headphones and putting an album on or playlist on or something.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't do you very frequently will just have music on in the house, like
Yeah.
while you're just walking around, while you're gaming, you're cooking, you're doing whatever. Me, I'm much more likely to put on a podcast or YouTube, more, even more likely than that, or even just like TikToks. I'll just like have TikToks going on autoplay or something like that while I'm like cooking or prepping something.
The way you do that with TikTok, I cannot. I lose my mind at some of your TikTok habits because it's the replaying of that. Isaiah will play a video that is 7 seconds long and it will loop 32 times, and I'm like,
until I get my hands free enough that I can go and swipe and find the next one.
I'm like, you don't need to put headphones on for that one because that drives me insane. And you're like, what do you mean? I was just playing. Who cares? And I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Okay, yeah, the car I think is the missing link that I was trying to put together. Another disappointment for casting and stuff. They have it without music where you can like co-play together, where it's like I should be able to control from my phone. It never works. I always try to control it from my phone, and it never works.
I'm curious about that. Yeah.
What people should be picking up from this episode is that I'm an old person that's angry and hates the internet. I'm like, I don't want to game online. I don't want to cast my phone. I want to put my CD in my disc drive in my car and drive around.
Yeah, need a baker and your tape deck.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, as God intended, as GNX intended. Yeah, fun. I feel like we have some cool overlap. Shout out to the Tizo album too. I really like that album, and it would be in mine because we went to the show this year, right?
I think that was earlier,
which is crazy. I think it was like in February or something. But yeah, I would have been there with you prepping. We don't gotta do the months and the playlists and stuff. They will say my playlists are hilarious because I have not been hitting playlists very much. So I have one of my listed playlists is. Number 2 is Disney hits. I swear to God, that is not representative. That is not who I am.
Let's do a quick recap of the playlist and stations.
Okay.
I'm curious. I don't even know if you have stations. I don't think you ever started a station.
I have stations, technically.
All right.
They're really funny.
2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'll start with mine. For playlists, we have A-List Pop at number 5, Office DJ number 4. Viral hits number 3, which honestly I'm surprised that's not higher because I feel like that's been my go-to lately. Coding number 2, which you could vouch for is actually pretty solid. You've added it to your own library.
I will speak at my segment.
And then number 1, there's the LA Galaxy playlist that I guess encompasses just like all the songs and music and stuff that they play at the stadium. So I've been putting that on a lot. Getting into the mood whenever we're like getting ready for a game and stuff.
I think that's going to be, you said that's your number 1?
That's my number 1.
I think it's going to stay number 1 because now we have the season tickets. So
hell yeah.
We're really going to. Once we can get the, what is it called? Why am I dumb? I can't remember the name of it. Where you're cooking in the parking lot? Tailgating.
Oh, yeah.
Once we get the tailgating done.
Then it's going to just exponential.
Especially because one cool thing, and I know, I get it. Elon's trash. He's destroying Earth. He's ruining the government. It's, I get that.
Like boombox feature of the Tesla.
We already own the Tesla, and we're not going to give it back. It's like that has been already done. One of the cool features is that boombox feature. Yes, where you can like play the music outside of the car.
Now, it sounds a little bit like crap, but
it does sound like shit. Yeah, for sure. But
it's still cool. Hey.
But unless you're bringing and I know, hey, Bose, if you want to send us a pill that we talk about on the show. Isaiah interned for you before. We're clearly. I have my little Bluetooth speaker I've had for 8 million years. Like we rock with Bose. So if they want to rock with us,
we're rocking with
the slot's open. There's lots of sponsorship opportunities for our lifestyle. Anyway, my playlist number 5. I have LA Galaxy as well.
Okay.
Number 4, I have my own playlist that I made, which is publicly searchable. I believe I did set to public. Freelance Life.
Adding that right now. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm always adding stuff to it. It's got a lot of tracks. I think it's a great playlist. Number 3, Oldies. I made a playlist called Oldies. I made this myself. This is a playlist that I created. It's only got 6 songs on it. I'm working on getting more on there, but it's a vibe. Number 2, Disney hits. I guess at some point I was...
All right. More than the LA Galaxy?
I guess so. 138 minutes versus 112. I guess I was listening to Disney hits at one point. You know what it is? And I'm not trying to walk away from Disney. I like Disney fine, Mm-hmm. I'm like, why is it so high? Lorcana. That's 138 minutes of Lorcana, baby. Let's go. Which honestly, leave it run up. I love a themed. I'm big into theming our board game nights with music. Mm-hmm. Something I hadn't mentioned on the show, but that's fun. Number 1, Coding, 331 minutes.
Wow.
When people think Jen Garcia, they think, oh, she's deep in that code. Just
Yeah, hell yeah.
It is a great background music playlist, like instrumental background music. Though I think like reading a coding playlist, I think it's gonna be like beep boop beep.
No, it's a lot of like lo-fi kind of stuff, you know, instrumental stuff. It's good. It's check out the coding playlist.
What are your stations?
Number 5, lo-fi station.
Okay.
So, you know,
Fun.
lo-fi hits. Number 4, SZA and similar artists.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's a very big car one for sure. 3, Bad Habits station. Mm-hmm. It's another. I think it just kind of was like the autoplay after Bad Habits. When I'm running late for things, you know, I put on Bad Habits as like a timer, but then I'm running late, so it just starts autoplaying something else. Yeah. Number 2, Discovery Station, which I actually really like the Discovery stuff. It's obviously I get a lot of my music.
I want to
warm
up to the Discovery stuff.
Yeah. No, it's fair
because I miss my.
Well, I think
Spotify
you're really good at discovering. The
Thank
weekly
you.
Spotify weekly, Discovery weekly, or whatever.
Discover Weekly was Spotify's, and I love Discover Weekly. Even though Discover Weekly, a lot of times they're just like, "Hey, we know you like this. Let's just put some easy wins." And that was Monday. Apple does it on what, Friday or something?
Something
I
like
hate that does it on Friday. I like to. Monday needs all the help it can get.
Yeah,
we don't need to be discovering on Friday.
Yeah,
you know. Anyway, continue.
And then number 1, which just as a quick aside, number 2 has 770 minutes. Number 1 has 2,500
Two are
minutes.
big stations, boy. That's a lot of time.
Isaiah Smith Station. So my own personal station. Of
Yeah. You hit that a lot in the
just-
car.
Yeah.
Just like whatever things that you want to listen to. Okay, we got number 5. I Don't Want to Miss a Thing station.
Okay.
Do you know the song?
Is that
I Don't Want to Miss
No.
a Thing. Yeah, it's the it's a really sweet song. I can't, you know me, when you ask me what a song is, it's an Aerosmith song. It's the, here it goes. It's the, I don't know if you've heard the song before. It's the, I could stay awake just to hear you breathing.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
It's like a cheesy 80s rock ballad
familiar.
vibe.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's 90s, 98, but you know, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay forever. Don't wanna close my eyes. Don't wanna fall asleep. That song.
Oh, okay.
Because I miss you, babe, but I don't wanna miss
Yes.
a thing.
Okay. Yes. I do know the song.
Honestly, yeah, fuck what you heard. That song eats.
It's pretty good.
I love that song. I don't have any, it's a little bit of a, it does not quite line up with like what you see from the other parts of my replay, which I like. I like a lot of, oldies, kind of old school stadium rock kind of vibe. So I like the song. I'm like, what would be fun? Other songs that fit that vibe right now. So I put on that station 78 minutes deep in the Aerosmith station. Similarly, Picture of You by Chappell Roan. Really like that song. Kind of one that's grown out of, what is it? The Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess is the album name. And yeah, kind of not an underrated song because I think all the songs have kind of gotten their moment in the sun. Kind of almost similar to GNX where everyone's like kind of we're hot swapping faves day to day. Yeah, Picture of You is really cool. And I'm like, let me get some more like that. 3, Virgo's Groove Station. It's just like Beyonce's other album. Actually, that is still though, Renaissance is the album. So I did pick that song and I guess station it at one point with 97 minutes. I have Endlessly Station. I don't remember what the song Endlessly is. Omar Apollo. This is the song that it got really big on. I forgot if this is the one that got really big on TikTok or not. But yeah, some Omar Apollo stuff. But I can't remember which one this one is. Or maybe it's Endlessly the album. But anyway, I'm talking in circles here. Whatever, that's the station. It's Omar Apollo. I want to get more into Omar Apollo stuff. So I put that on there. And then my number 1 station, the Cruisin' Station, as in the song Cruisin'. You know the song Cruisin', right?
Maybe
Smokey Robinson. The I love it when we're cruising together. Love it when we're cruising together. Music is made for love. Sounds
familiar. Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah. It's a nice, fun song. And I believe earlier this year, they decriminalized the act of cruising in a car, like driving slow in a lowrider in LA. I think they just decriminalized that like recently. So I was like, yeah, let's listen to the station.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the stations. It's kind of chaotic there. Yeah, and I'd say that's basically all the hits from Apple Replay. There's like milestones, but they're like weird. Like, here's a bubble for 10,000 minutes listened in August. I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah, they give you these like milestones, your top genres, like stuff that is less interesting
Yeah.
statistically.
Overall, I enjoyed my time with Apple Replay. I went into this year being like, I got to make Apple Replay cool because it's like the whack one.
I mean, it helps that Spotify Wrapped dropped the ball
Wrapped
this year.
was
Apparently,
trash this year. The analytics were bad. The analytics were inaccurate. They made an AI podcast with 2 AI robots talking to each other about your music.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, uncommon Spotify L. But hey, Apple Music is up. Wrapped is down. I'm excited to have my full year back with next year. Get my full analytics. Other things I want to touch on for not game stuff is you had your wisdom teeth taken out.
I did.
How'd that go for you?
I would say overall it went pretty well, and I talked about it a little bit at the top of the episode. But like, yeah, I didn't have any crazy long lasting pain. So you had your wisdom teeth removed, and your brother, who also is here in LA with us, he also had his wisdom teeth removed. So I've had like 2 experiences of like what to expect going into it. So I didn't have too much like fear or nervousness going into it, as much as just like my own personal like, oh, I have to go through it kind of anxiety. But yeah, no, it super smooth. I think the appointment went pretty well. It was like very quick, pretty in and out. I think the thing that you most notably would want to talk about, or at least touch on, is that partway through the surgery to remove my wisdom teeth, I did come out of my anesthesia. I don't know if it was, I have to imagine they bring you out of anesthesia. To my understanding, you're like, if they put you under, you're under until they bring you out. Now, did they miscalculate how quickly I'd come out? is maybe one thing. Like I woke up on the in my little like dentist chair or whatever, laying back, mouth open, and like the doctor was like in there pulling teeth, like drilling. I heard the drill. I heard the noise, the sounds, everything. At some point, he was like, he realized I was awake. And he was like, "Hey, turn your head." like he was asking me to like turn my head so he can get a better angle at like a tooth, because I think there was like one tooth in the like maybe my top right in the back that like they had trouble getting out.
Yeah, they did mention that when they dropped you, when they rolled you out front.
Yeah. And so like he ended up going back towards the end. It was like, oh, I finally got it. Like he got maybe the last piece or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But yeah, no, it was outside of that aspect of it. I would say it was all smooth. Pretty painless. Obviously the day of, they numb you up and everything like that. And so like once the numbing started to wear down, they did give me some aspirins and stuff that I could take, or ibuprofen, to like, help with soreness and swelling and everything like that. We iced it. We, a liquid diet. Got my Soylents in the fridge right now. Overall pretty solid. Happy I did it, because at least now I don't have to worry about it in the future. And it wasn't super painful again. I will say the only thing is that I do have like, even still now, which is like a little concerning, a little numbness on my tongue. Like I know they mentioned that like, oh, like your bottom wisdom teeth run alongside a nerve or something like that. And so like, oh, you might, we numb you up and, we're doing surgery there. So there's a chance that like technically something can happen and you'll be a little numb there. They made it sound like it was like this is expected. So I'm not worried, but it would be very unfortunate if my tongue just feels like this for the rest of my life. I don't know. Well,
did you set up your other appointment, by the way?
I think they said it's like a month. Like,
but they didn't set it though.
They did. I didn't hear anything from them about.
Yeah, you need to call them. Actually,
okay.
I just because they were like, we can
I was going to do it a week out, but
they're like, we can set it up now. They just call them and see like when you can get it booked. They're like, or you can call us tomorrow, and you said that you wanted to call them tomorrow, but tomorrow came and went, and you never called, so you got to call at some point.
Is this with the surgery place or with my normal dentist?
I think with the surgery place, because I think they're going to look at like how the surgery went, basically. Which, like, for me, they checked up on me like a week out, so it was kind of weird. They're like, oh, a month out? I'm like, it's kind of a long gap, but
yeah,
hopefully the tongue thing is not anything. I know they said that there's risk for like nerve damage with that procedure, but it doesn't sound like that's what you have, so I think that's We'll see. I don't know.
My lip was also numb like the day of, even the day after, and then it's like
you never
now
really
slowly
swelled
came
out
back.
too big though.
No,
I don't think, after the
I
first...
also have like this beard, so it's kind of like a little hard to tell.
I know. I was looking at you and kind of just like, I don't know. How round is his face normally? I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But definitely had to shout that out because on, let me see what number this was. What number was our Deadpool episode? It was like 2 episodes ago or something like that, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So on our Game Awards picks and predictions and Deadpool Wolverine spoiler cast episode, you had talked about the fact that you like to fight the anesthesia to see how strong you are.
Yeah.
Which is...
And I was strong.
funny. And I was like, what? I'd never do that. And I've never done that. That's weird. That's like some weird stuff. And Neil Smith had commented and said, you got to fight the anesthesia because if you can fight it, it's not strong enough. I don't want 90% anesthesia. I want 110% anesthesia. And they also said some other things about the episode. Mm-hmm. And you didn't fight the anesthesia this time, correct?
I actively was like, when they were putting me in there, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to go to sleep.
Yeah. And I guess that's a mistake. So
yeah. I guess next time I got to fight it.
I was wrong. You were right. Fight the anesthesia.
Make them give me that second dose
because
of sleepy juice.
What you went through, I get that you're like, yeah, it's not that deep. Whatever. I felt some pressure, but it was fine. I would never mentally recover from that. And everyone, I met a lot of people this week from, meeting up with old friends and stuff, Game Awards stuff. And I told several people, because they asked, like, oh, where's Isaiah? I'm like, oh, well, he has wisdom teeth out. Oh, he's fine. Fun fact, he woke up during the procedure. And everyone horrified. You unfazed. Me, secondhand horrified. I think that is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah.
And again, you joke when I was getting wheeled out to like get in the car, they think that they have to like take you out in a wheelchair and everything like that. By that point, I feel like far from like being able to drive or anything like that, but like consciously, I was at least 85% there.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I recovered fairly quickly from the surgery. Like I remember asking the nurses like their name, the doctor's name, like talking to people while I was walking out and everything. I got out. I was telling you I was strong.
Oh yeah, he did
I
this
waved
little
at you guys.
He put his little arms up and went like,
yeah. I beat the surgery. I lived, bitch. All right,
yeah.
Like it was.
You did
legit.
Good. It's unfortunate that I had worked so much that I was out of the house for a lot of your recovery. But I was there for a good chunk of day one, and you were, as one might expect, tired, fussy, cranky. Nothing crazy, but it's tiring to get that kind of procedure. So glad you're up and about, and don't worry everyone, he's back to beating 8 more games.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I watched so much anime while I was
we put on
so
much of Actually. Shout to the show Actually.
Shout out to Dropout TV, man.
Isaiah was sitting on the sofa and I said, what do I put on for him? Then I thought, I know exactly what to put on. Those people, what's the name of the guy again? Mike
Trap. Yeah.
Mike Trap.
I'm in Mike Trap seasons.
Mike Trap lives in this house. He's my roommate.
He's got to stay at home. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that man so many times. Yeah, fun show. I'm terrible at that show, but it is
same. But I enjoy it.
It's an entertaining watch. Yeah. All right. Last on the docket, I do want to give a nod to the fact that Trello is back, baby.
Mm-hmm.
What is Trello for those who don't have the pain of having worked a corporate job?
Yeah. That's very, very true. So Trello is a sort of like project management tool for, I think it's Kanban system, where it's like you have these cards and they live in these like vertical columns, and the idea is that like a card is like an action or a thing you need to do, and as you are working on the project of that card, you move it from like track to track. So like maybe you have a like things to do track, a currently doing, a needs review, and then a done track. Those are just like, you can make the tracks whatever you want, but like basically you'll take the card, once you start it, you put it in your doing column. Once you're done doing it and maybe you need to like give it to someone else to review, you move it to the review column. Once they review it and you're like totally finished, you publish the article or whatever it is you're doing, you move it to the done. And that's like a way to like keep up and manage the things you need to do. Now that is obviously just one approach to using Trello or this Kanban style system. I know one example that we've incorporated into your work life is using it to help manage the games that you play.
Why?
And
What's with the tone?
So because you can use it for different things. It's not like instead of using it for like an article that you're writing,
Yes.
which maybe you are doing that. I don't know. Another way you can do it, which is what you're doing, is using it for like managing the games you want to play, and whether it's like, oh, a code requested, code received, code redeemed, game started, thoughts. You know, like you can organize these columns however you see fit to fit your work style.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you started doing that. What did you have before, and why is it that Trello is back?
So I've had Trello many times. I've used it for different websites I've written for, pretty much in a similar vein to what you described with the article format. Maybe it'll be like the first time I used Trello was back when I wrote for like PlayStation Lifestyle, and they had like news stories that they needed covered, and you could like claim a card and stuff like that. Just a way, to track progress. Look at, oh, I hit my quota. I had these 5 cards or whatever. And editors can come in and see what's going on. So yeah, and it is a useful tool. I think my thing with something like Trello is like sometimes when stuff's too worky, it's just like it's also the part of that like workifying life, even though this is me just workifying my job, which is what's supposed to be workified. But similarly, it's like Slack. I kind of have like a negative feeling towards Slack. It's actually a great system that I found very, very useful for communicating with colleagues, but it's like, yeah, but Slack.
Yeah, I hate that it works.
It's like I hate that I have to be slackled, to it. It's like I don't know. It's so corpo. It's like Trello is kind of a similar vibe to me, where I bounced off of it on my own time. But to answer your question, before this, I was using Notion. I got into Notion this year. I said, oh my god, I think I'm gonna be a Notion girly, and then I realized, you know what? I don't think I'm really gonna be a Notion girly, and that's fine. I didn't spend too much time designing and decorating it. I spent a good amount of time on some things though, but like, TLDR is how I was doing my code stuff before is I had a video game content sort of database. Like Notion is basically like a smart binder is kind of how I conceptualize it. Where you have these different pages you can have, which are kind of like almost like tabs in a binder. You can go to them, and within those you can add a bunch of different things. You can have links to websites. You can have PDF documents. You can have databases that you make that are calendars, or your own version of kind of that card column system. Like there's like a bunch of different things you can do. You can integrate third-party stuff into it. You can share it with other people and make it kind of a co-working space. It's like a bunch of stuff. And one of the big things I was using it was for my game releases, embargoes, content plans, like database. And this had 2 views, because you can have like different views in Notion's databases. So I had like a calendar view, and I had a like list view, and that had stuff like, here's a good example. Crypt Custodian is like the game, and then to the right, it's picture like a spreadsheet almost. It's like play status, code request, outlet, embargo, release date, like coverage tags, and a bunch of other things. And I was kind of just trying to figure out like what's the best way to go about this stuff. But a lot of problems I had with it is I felt like it was hard for me to keep up with it. Like on one hand, I was trying to get into the flow of, okay, cool, I get a code for, say, Crypt Custodian. As soon as I get that code, I'm going to redeem the code and go into my database and mark that I have the code and, mark the play status, which is probably neat to start because it's rare for me to get a code and immediately start the game. Stuff like that. And, you could sort it through like release date or statuses and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, cool. Ultimately, I felt like it got very overwhelming very quickly. It's like, even looking at it now, which granted I haven't updated in a long time, like I
need to get added to your list. I'm very curious to see what this board looks like.
Oh, my OG board or my Trello board?
Your Trello board.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm still talking about my Notion one. It was like, we have a bunch of stuff that's like playing, and then like, I don't know. It just was very messy looking. Felt very overwhelming to look at. It was bad. And one thing I've learned in the last year, definitely, maybe 2 years. You would know better than me I'm curious what your perception of this is. For what I'm about to say, which is, I feel like you know a lot of shit, and you also like know how to solve a lot of my problems, but you're not necessarily going to jump to offer solutions to problems necessarily. Also, you might not necessarily know that I'm having a problem, because this is something that like I kind of was just dealing with my own workflow, and I never really complained to you about, outside of the classic complaint of, man, a lot of games to play. I have more games to play. That's every critic is going to have that complaint. So that's like not really news. And a lot of times, like, I try to figure out stuff by myself. And what I've realized is, why am I trying to figure out anything by myself when I have you to bounce ideas off of, get insight from? And so often I feel like you have the answer and I just didn't think to ask the question. So as I was grappling with this, especially we're starting a new year, I'm like, you know what? I bet you Isaiah has an answer and that his answer is just right. And that's going to be the thing to do. And that's how I got to Trello. But what is your perception of like our relationship in the context of my personal like problem solving or my workflows and other things? I feel like you do have a lot of opinions on my workflows, you know, here and there. Like you got me into the bullet journaling.
Yeah. I think the only real like I don't know, criticism I have why are you making a face? The only real criticism I have of your workflows is that
They don't work.
No, not even that. It's that I think you wrongly prioritize the almost aesthetic of organization over the function of organization. And sometimes I need to just get in there and help pull you back out to where it's like, yes, this notebook you have is very cute. I love the stickers. I love your coloring. That's all very nice, but it's not helping you be organized. Like it's, I feel like you need help sometimes finding the system first and then making that aesthetically pleasing instead of finding something that's aesthetically pleasing and trying to work a system into it. So same idea, just a different direction of getting there.
I will say I have a dangerous question to ask you because I fear what you might say. Do you think I should go all in on Trello and almost dial back the bullet journal? Like, because part of me is like, I feel like I can Trello-fy a lot of this bullet journal stuff. And would that be better?
No. I think coming from coding and like a, engineering, software development kind of background, one of the core things that you generally learn is that like there is no perfect tool for everything. There is no one tool that really fits all. There's multiple solutions to multiple problems and none of them are correct. There's just less wrong than others. And so like there's a tool, like use the best tool for the job basically, where it's like instead of trying to work the perfect bullet journal that can do your Trello board work and everything like that. It's like, no, use the Trello board for the stuff that the Trello board is really good for, which I think we're finding. And then use the bullet journal for the things the bullet journal is really good for, which we're finding. And maybe you bring back the Hobonichi journal one day and it's like, oh, because I found a thing where the Hobonichi journal really is the best tool for this job. And like,
I think the Hobonichi journal's cooked.
I mean, maybe the Hobonichi journal is cooked. That's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to go out of my way to sell you on the Hobonichi journal personally. But it's just like, oh, you instead of finding solutions and then looking for the problem for them, it's like, oh, no, just look at the problems you have and then find good solutions for those individual problems.
Yeah. So, I think also I have a tendency to want to consolidate the tools I use, and that consolidation might not always be necessary. Like
because that adds complication.
Yes. So I might have you look at my how I do our personal meetings, which are like I think we've talked about this before on the show. It's like we meet once a week, and like one of the big things we decide is like what we're eating for the week, and checking in on like what's the schedule look like. Like I have that still all in Notion, and I like having like my cookbook stuff in Notion. I think that's really nice. My recipes are all in there, so I definitely think I'm still going to be Notion will still be existing, but yeah, not for the codes thing. It got too complicated. What I made on my codes card to like give some insight, but not like, I don't know, immense detail. I have every game that is on my radar for 2025. Each of those gets a card and they get their release date listed if they have one. Nothing listed if they don't have a release date. I did add a tag to those games, if you're early access, you have like an early access tag that's in gray. And that's basically it. Sometimes when I remember to do so, it's not like perfect. I haven't done it for every game, but trying to add the Steam links to some of these games, it's just kind of nice to be able to click in and see like what the game is. But not every game has a Steam link associated with it. I might go back and try to add those just for whatever. So that's game database. It's like a big list of these different games. Like we have like Citizen Sleeper 2, Assassin's Creed, Lost Records, Blue and Rage, Avowed. Like those are all in there as like potential games. Even though, I'm going to be honest, Avowed, I don't know if I'm going to spend time with Avowed. But like whatever, it's in there because I'm like, I'm just keep it in mind. Because also sometimes there's games that I don't pursue that heavily, but like I could see me playing like that for best of 2025 watch on my stream or something. Then I have a column that says code requested, and those are for games that I've requested, and the labels, which are like these little kind of colored tab tags that you can do in Trello, are the outlets that are requested through. So like if I request something for myself, that's just pen to pixels. I also can request things through MinMax, which is like on Slack, that's where we go and say, oh yeah, I want this code or whatever. So I have tags just because that's relevant in the sense that like I am not as, it's like a little more general because like a big pot and a big team of like codes and coverage. While like when it's just me pen to pixels, it's like I'm the only one kind of covering stuff. So I'm a little bit more beholden to like tracking that, reporting on that, whatever, than versus like, do I talk about this on a podcast at some point? Then I have in my library, and that's like if I have a, you know, if I theoretically it's like, oh, I get the code and then it goes into my library. Same deal as have the dates and all that. And then I have a column that says for content, which this column maybe doesn't need to exist. This is like in my mind, this is like almost like content plans, maybe, where it's like I plan to do content with this. Maybe it should be called content plans, where it's like, hey, I'm working on something, but I haven't done it yet. And then I have covered. So stuff that I've covered is like Infinity Nikki and Indiana Jones. And I have the link to the coverage I did, which again, some of these I don't report back on directly, like MinMax. I never got to talk about Indiana Jones on MinMax. The year is over. Kind of the end, right? But I have a tag like Twitch stream also. It's like Twitch stream, MinMax is the tags. The link to my stream is there, and that's there. And then I'm flirting with another column. I renamed this right now, because I don't know. I don't know if I wanted to call it shelved, because shelved implies that I have the game. Like what I have in there now is like Monument Valley 3. That's a game I'm interested in. It came out December 10th. The train keeps moving, so I'm like, I don't know if I'm going back to this. I also don't have a code for it either. It's like I don't have any obligation to go back to it, but it's like a game I was in. So it's like, oh, I think that might be like a no kind of thing. So yeah, that's what my flow is. And I find this a lot just visually less cluttered. And also I think what I like about this versus how I did it in Notion, the only good thing about Notion was that it gave me that calendar view. And I did like that calendar view a lot. I did really like that view.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the only strength it had. It was a lot of like re-clicking through like just this method I feel like feels better because I'm physically like taking a game and moving it across like a production timeline. It's like, oh, because like Notion basically presents the information the way I made it. It would be like, let's take Lonely Mountains Snow Riders as an example. Ooh, Scoop, I requested a code for that. Now you know that I emailed somebody. But yeah, I love that first game. Yay. I requested a code for it. Also, not that no one's going to be like leaking Lonely Mountain Snow Riders info, but literally like the way it works a lot of times, especially with like smaller games, when PR emails like about the game, they'll say, if you're interested in a code, let us know. The game might be, like I requested this code months ago on a very technical level. And I'm just like, hope my request doesn't get lost. Again, I'm sure they have their own weirdo collection of crap. Good luck. I don't know how PR does it because I haven't worked on that side. And I haven't asked any of my PR friends like, hey, how do you guys track this? Like, I don't know. I'm sure they have their systems, like spreadsheets and stuff. So that's there. And it's like, I can see the progression. While in Notion, what that would look like is it'd say Lonely Mountains Snow Riders. There'd be no dates, so it'd be sorted in a weird spot. But I would have that tab that said that I requested it. But that's not really like as easy to look.
Yeah.
While right now, like I can look at this, and this is kind of negative sounding because it's just like where I was at in the year. But it's like I have a bunch of games that I need to cover. I have them on my available to play and stuff. And I have 3 ready to go. And this kind of what this helps me get to, which is like one of my goals, is like, obviously there's great games coming out all the time. Maybe you're kind of set right now, or you need to clean up, right? Like, are we really playing, I don't forget which ones are even out yet, so I don't want to read any of them. But like, are we playing, Zabufu 2? Because it's been in the library and it came out like a month, like 3 weeks ago. Are we playing or are we not? Like, what's going on and like what's happening with coverage? So, yeah. And I think this feels better for that. And I'm very excited to have it. But I'm also scared of, I think, something that happens with me that I'm scared about. Why are you laughing?
I just don't know where this is going.
Is sometimes I get so excited with the new system. I'm like, this is great. What if we stuff every dream we've ever had? And we put there's a scene in Seinfeld where this woman's like a closet organizer and she says, have you ever thought about putting, your pants on hooks or whatever? And he's like, I don't know. I haven't thought. She's like, you could free up a lot of space. We can get like 30, 40 hooks in there. We'll put everything on hooks. And that's how I feel with Trello React.
I understand that. I feel the same way when I discover a new system that seems to really be working. And I think that's a sign of this is really solving the problem that you had.
Okay.
It's solving it so much that you now start to envision, well, if it solved this problem, it could also solve these other problems. And that's not necessarily true. So we do need to, just be aware of that and take a step back.
But how do we know it's not true?
Because we know it wasn't designed to solve those things. We didn't go into it.
You don't even know what problem I have.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll talk later off content for more of my cards. What do you use Trello for? Because you use Trello as well, right?
Not so much anymore. I'm trying to get back into it with GitHub, which is where I use to like store all my coding projects and stuff. They have a product that is similar to Trello, like the card thing. And I'll use that. And the only reason why I use that instead of Trello is that I'm already in GitHub for like Stacks, for example. It's like, Stacks has a GitHub Trello board already. So I don't really need a Trello board for Stacks. I can just do the same stuff in GitHub. So I do use the system that Trello enables, but just not within Trello itself.
Okay.
And I use that for something like finish this feature, fix this bug, do this design, yada, yada, yada.
We do have now a games and not games Trello board.
We do.
Which I think is, I'm really loving that currently.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was me, not even an overcorrection, like an overexcitement, because I'm just like, this is going to fix me. This is what we have. But I really like it for being able to see what we might be recording easily and then like what our ideas are and kind of easily go back. Before this, we just had like a shared note and then like Google Docs and stuff. I think this is good. It's like you can kind of see into our plans and we can have plans and things. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
Trello is back.
Trello's back.
Trello's cool again, everyone.
I know you forgot about it, but you know what? Launch that Trello.com back up again.
Sometimes you got to dance with the devil, organized. It's like, hey, this devil's making some good points. So, I'm excited about it. But hopefully I don't get too excited. I have so many dreams.
I want to see, again, I want to get invited to this game database.
Oh, just to look at it?
We'll start with that. We'll start with just looking at it.
Wait,
I think there could be also just some suggestions I might have.
You're going to manipulate my database.
To better organize it.
Yeah, okay.
I know you very well.
We should do this will be like off of a podcast just because it's not really like podcastable content. We'd need to like record like video or something. I mean, we do the video for the podcast, but what we need to do is I think it's time for me to cast to our TV and share. Like we need an audit.
Yeah.
Like a productivity audit.
Oh my God, that'd be so good.
But I want to do a bunch of stuff for the new year. I want to throw this year away. I'm tired of doing work. I'm tired of making content. No shade to the show. But like I want to be rid of it so I can start to do my psychotic projects. I'm going to clean this apartment like it's never been cleaned. I'm going to be organizing stuff. I'm going to drop 32 Depop listings.
Yeah.
I'm going to start lifting heavier things at the gym. Like I want to go into my cocoon of chaos and emerge a beautiful butterfly of 2025. And on my wings, it's going to say 20, and then the other wing's going to say 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But I feel like that's not going to happen, and it's not a realistic hope. But I can't help but have don't tell me, don't give. You need to reel me in. All
right, we'll plan for it. How about that? We'll reevaluate. We'll see how we're feeling. We'll set up the steps necessary to get there, and then we'll see how far we get.
I can't wait. All right, let's get into the poll of the show.
Poll of the show.
Last episode, which I'm now realizing when I tweeted out, I said it was episode 19. Yeah. It's episode 20. But don't worry about that part. We asked rather, if a game supports it, do you wear different outfits for different tasks? Example, in Animal Crossing, do you wear a fishing outfit when you fish, a gardening outfit when you garden, etc.? 25.9% said yes.
Which is
and
insane.
25.9% said sometimes, which I'm taking as a win.
Which is also insane.
But 48% said no. So it's about half 50-50. Well, I mean, obviously the sometimes is like a little bit both. But I do feel like it's a big commitment to really have an outfit for everything and that you change it all the time. Like even I'm with sometimes.
Anyone.
And I didn't even vote, actually. I forgot to vote. So
really?
Yeah.
The fact that like a significant portion said yes, like straight up yes, shocks me. I thought that was going to be like 7% maybe.
But Isaiah, PlayStation said that you're a role player. So what's going on?
That is true. But
it's not adding up.
I mean, yeah, okay, fair enough. But I don't know, man. That's like a next level. It's like real sim living, like role playing.
Yeah, I thought that's what we were here to do.
Yeah, no, I guess so. It's you know what? Shout out to people wearing outfits. All right,
yeah.
You got your costumes. You're throwing them on to get the job done. Respect. All right, respect.
Yeah, I mean, in real life, you're doing that kind of stuff. You got
if I'm gonna paint, I'm gonna put on my smock or something.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just better gamers than me. You know, these 25.9% of people.
It's
just
not too late for you to
me.
Join the 25.9% and also the 25.9%. It's like identical percentages. Yeah, there's more. I will say there's more than I thought there would be, but I'm glad because I feel like.
You're not alone.
Well, yeah.
There are dozens of
and I feel like the people that I know do that at least a little bit. Not all the time, but like I feel like I'm around people that have their different outfits. I thought you were one of those people.
No.
I feel like you would put on like, I got my little fisherman's hat and we'd be at the island together.
First of all, I'm wearing whatever's going to give me the best stats.
Yeah, but like an Animal Crossing.
Secondary to that, I'm wearing just whatever I think looks cool.
You told me that when it rained in Animal Crossing, you never put on your rain hat.
No, I'm wearing my.
So your character's all wet. And
my hoodie, my cool hoodie.
that hoodie is sopping wet. It is swimming in the ocean in a sweatshirt and basketball shorts. Yeah, fun stuff. What do we got for the poll this week?
For this week's poll, keeping it pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Did you watch this year's Game Awards? It's gonna be yes or no. I know some people were there in person. Some people might have caught it online. Some people might have caught it after the fact. All of those can be considered yes. Or if you're just like, you know what? I just read up on it. I didn't bother watching it. I'm just going to look for the trailers afterwards or something like that. Feel free to vote no. Just to kind of get a sense of where our audience is and kind of what the interest lies there.
Also, another thing to add to our to-do on our Trello board, we got to figure out the different poll software kind of things.
Did you add that to the Trello just now?
I just added it, yeah. Cool. I didn't know how to word it. I said new poll software.
Yeah, no, that's
doesn't
fair.
really sound right, but you get the idea.
Yeah. I want to bring a third-party poll into the mix so that we can actually, like, I don't know. It's fair. I definitely have migrated off of Twitter, and I'm now only on Blue Sky.
I'm very heavy on Blue Sky. I do want to make sure I post more on Twitter again just to keep Twitter active because you never know. Zuckerberg can buy Blue Sky at any time and ruin it. So.
Yeah, no, facts. But it'd be nice to be able to vote on the platform that I am personally on. It'd
also just be nice to just give more options for listeners. Like some of y'all might not use social media really at all. I think a lot of people are on Blue Sky. I know at least one person said, I come over from Blue Sky specifically for the poll.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So it would be awesome if I didn't have to do that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. So we'll see what we can figure out. But for now, that's it for this week. You can send us your questions and topics to the email inbox@gamesandnotgames.com. You can follow the podcast version of the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. If you enjoy the show, be sure to give us that 5-star rating.
5 stars. And if you're an audio listener, remember that you can get the video version over on YouTube at Games and Not Games. If you like the video, be sure to give it a like, maybe leave a comment. I love reading the comments. I adore we get the comments in our emails, and every so often one of us will see the email first and be like, did you see the comment that we got? Like, this person asked a really good question.
And then did you see this comment? He's like, yeah, I read it already. And I'm like, You know what?
Again, I'm
bad.
vain. I love attention. So I love getting the comments. I love reading them.
Which is funny because you're kind of like shy
yeah,
in
very
some
much
ways.
so, yeah.
But you're also very outgoing. It's a fun mix we have
yeah,
here.
I'm was it extroverted introvert?
Yeah.
But yeah, be sure to leave the comment. Give the video a like. It helps us get in front of more people. Also, give us a follow on other social medias. We're on Twitter/X at Games and Not. Everywhere else, we're at Games and Not Games. It's Blue Sky, TikTok, Twitch, etc. And until next time, gang.
Gang.
Peace.